It's the Orioles on Bassin and a beautiful day here in Birdland as the Astros and the Orioles get set for a double header, single admission double header. We're going to have a good crowd on hand here for this game. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome for the Orioles. A loss last night, 2-1. Tough ball game. Good ball game. Almost made it in that ninth inning to tie it up, but a great catch in center. Marishnik got it, ended the ball game. Orioles go back at it today against Justin Verlander, and Jeffrey Ramirez will make his final appearance for the Orioles on this Game 1 appearance. Chris Davis will not be in the lineup. Not today and not tomorrow. He is all done playing for the year. It has been a very tough year, to say the least, for Chris Davis. You take a look at the numbers that Davis has posted here with the Orioles. He's got 4 years remaining on a 7-year, $161 million contract signed in 2015 after that season. His batting average this year at 168, 16 home runs. He's going to finish the year with the lowest batting average in baseball history. For his career with the Orioles, 234. The 239 home runs, 606 RBIs. This is the same player who was the Orioles' most valuable player in 2013 when he hit 53 home runs, had 138 RBIs. And the question facing the Orioles, Jim Palmer, now what?
Well, you're right. I mean, that is a very cogent question, Gary, because if we look at Houston, when they started to build, who'd they release? J.D. Martinez. Why? Because, you know what, he had 15 home runs, 16 home runs, kind of what Chris did. But they needed somebody better because at the end of the day, that's you're playing guys, corner outfielder, you need to have somebody better. So for the Orioles, the answer is, are we happy with the 16 home runs? Obviously, you're not happy with the batting average under 170. He's had it's the most frustrating year. That made a lot of changes. Hopefully, after having the Twins last year and maybe baseball not as much a focus, he'll maybe change that and he'll come to spring training and a revitalized guy. Certainly, he'll help him. And otherwise, I think the Orioles are going to have to make a tough decision. Simple as that. It
has been a very long season for him. They were going to play him here on the final weekend, but that was a week ago. The decision now is no. When we come back, Game 1 lineups. First pitch from Camden Yards. Brought to you by Southwest. Low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Royal Farms. Pick up your ROFO rewards card today at any Royal Farms to save on gas and to start earning points for free stuff. Details in store. Gorgeous day here at the ballpark. Our game time temperature brought to you by BGE Home. We know more. We do more. A very comfortable 79 degrees. Very gentle breeze blowing out towards center. Here's the starting lineup For Houston, the defending world champions, Springer, Correa, and Reddick, Gonzalez, White, Gaddis, Davis, Maldonado, and Kemp. Josh Reddick having another good season against the Orioles this year.
And for Dylan Bundy, second start against the Astros. First one was his second start of the year, all the way back on the 4th of April. So the slider's important. You know, the fastball velocity's gone down. 39 home runs. That's the big story. Most in the history of any Orioles starter. You know, he's gone through the season, you know, again, healthy. When the slider's working, it did in the first inning in Boston, hung a couple in the second inning, and again, didn't pitch up to his capabilities. 4 runs in 3 innings. So, you know, I thought maybe there was some kind of injury. They just took him out. I mean, 90 pitches in 3 innings, which is very unlike him. He averages around 16 pitches an inning. So we'll see how efficient he is. And when he's on his game, he'll. And all you got to do is watch David Hess's game last night. Used all his pitches. Only the one mistake to Josh Reddick for the home run. That was it. 3 hits over 7 innings.
Dylan Bundy in the last starts has gone 1 and 2 in the last 3. ERA 4.6 in his last 3 starts. So we'll see what he can do here in this one, his final game of this 2018 season, and trying to stay above 500. He's 31 and 31 now in his career with the 8 and 16 record he has this year.
Yeah, and if you look at the ground ball to fly ball ratio, 104 on the ground, 192 in the air. So definitely a fly ball pitcher, and that's how you get to the 39 home runs.
We have 2 of them in this game. Verlander's the same. And Springer will lead it off. He'll get down to first base. Shift was on. Mancini's got it. Bundy covers, but Mancini will get there in time. A pitch in and out. Springer did not play last night. You ready to play, boys?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he goes, hey, I'm not going to waste any time. Rickard, Mullins, Stewart, that's the outfield. And again, around the infield, Nunez back. You know, maybe a little bit of a sketchy knee. Beckham at short. VR, Mancini, and then Caleb Joseph gets to catch today, at least the first game.
For the start of the ball game, pitcher big advantage in the sun, hitter in the shade. Correa will take the pitch, and that will be in there for a strike. He had an 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. Their shortstop on the year, 2 for 6 against the Orioles with a home run and 3 RBIs. And Correa on that great slider that's down and away. He was a foot away on that one, and an 0-2 count.
Well, that's got a couple strikeouts in the first inning, and then second inning hung one to Pierce. You know, eventually Mookie Betts would get his 32nd home run on a hanging slider.
Then jammed him and broke the bat. Nunez down to get it. High throw, but Mancini's able to haul it in. Our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers.
Well, take a look, and again, early on, you know, didn't get a lot to show for it, but you know, you can live with that ERA, and you know, had a couple of bad stretches, 7 and 8 runs when he had the groin problem. Really pitched well in June, and then July, he thought he had it. You never have it figured out, but just getting back on track. And again, he's pitching for a team that's only won 45 games or 46 games with 113 losses.
2 down and nobody on. Ball will be put down the line, foul by Reddick. Reddick has had success against Bundy and against the Orioles. He is 3 for 7 with a home run off Dylan. He went 1 for 3 with a home run in the ball game last night, and he is 7 for 13 this year against the Orioles with 3 long balls. Strike on the inside corner. That one froze him as it cut back in and down.
Yeah, Angel Hernandez behind the plate usually has a pretty ample strike zone, a high strike zone too.
Count is 0-2 with 2 down. Shift on. That one will brush him back a little bit.
Well, not that high, but somewhere up in that zone. You can see 93, and yeah, the average fastball is about 91.5 miles per hour. So velocity down.
That'll be tagged foul the other way again. Dylan Bundy, we take a look at our StatCast AI powered by AWS, the defense behind him. Outfield plays the other way.
Yep, a couple steps to left.
Right fielder for the Orioles. Stewart in this game is playing right in the power alley and right.
And he's also, as you mentioned, the Sun field.
Yep. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll go to the non-Sun field. Joey Rickard coming over and in. It'll be a base hit. Make a turn and stay, so Reddick continues hot against the Orioles.
Yeah, before he got traded, or actually signed here as a free agent, you know, he started with the Red Sox, went to Oakland. Every time he was in a slump, he'd just play the Orioles and he'd do this. If he didn't hit it hard somewhere, he'd just kind of hit it down the line. You kind of shifted that way, but he just flares it. And the box score looks the same as it was a firm line drive.
So they get a base hit off Bundy. This has been, as we've mentioned, over his career, the inning that he struggles in. Same true this year. Dylan Bundy's given up 23 first inning runs. Second worst innings, the fourth inning, in which he's given up 22. 2 down, runner on, and a breaking ball that he lays off Gonzalez. Gonzalez 3 for 4 lifetime off Dylan. He is getting the start in this ball game at second base, where he ended up last night. Pretty good break numbers.
Yeah, it really is. A free agent, at least potential free agent.
He's had a hit 9 of the last 11, so he, like many of these Stros, finishing strong. 1-0 delivery on the way, and that's in there for a strike.
Well, if you look, I mean, you know, Reddick had a leg infection early, then Altuve not going to get 200 hits because of the knee problem. Correa had the kind of the oblique back problem, so they've had some injuries, but AJ Hinch is just, as they get healthy, trying to get them all ready and get them the appropriate at bats.
1-1 delivery on the way. That'll be a strike in the outside corner. Astro team offensively, they are 4th in average and 5th in runs. They average 5 runs a ball game. They are 7th in home runs. But oh, that pitching.
Oh, is it ever.
Both their starters and their relievers have the best ERA in the American League, and their starters are #1 in almost every pitching category in the league. 1-2. Reddick off first base, and that one will be fouled back.
Yeah, so a little plus velocity. I think the one thing of Dylan, he's such a hard worker, and he knows that he has to use his front side to get down the mound. There was an article after we saw Sales, who's been battling some shoulder problems, about his extension. And since the shoulder injury, not extending, not your release point maybe cut off a little bit, getting over your front side allows you to be closer to the hitter. The stuff's quicker. It gives you a little bit more velocity.
1-2 is going to miss down low. He had hoped he might go after that pitch, but Gonzalez stayed away. So a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Dylan putting a few pitches up here. If he can get through the inning with 16 or less, that'll be just fine for him. Gonzalez, go ahead run. RBI single, 8th inning. His 11th go ahead of the season came in that 2-1 win last night, and he'll ask for the timeout at the plate.
Yeah, did it from the other side of the plate off of Tanner Scott, who had wasn't very sharp at 44 pitches on Wednesday. Didn't have his normal stuff.
And get the runner back to first base. Dylan this year has been touched up by the left-handers. They've done the number, 316 against him. Right-handers 232. Home runs pretty much divided, 17 by the lefties and 22 by the right-handers, and lots of them. New mark for him, major league high. 2-2 delivery on the way, and he got him to go after one upstairs. So Bundy gets the strikeout. Gonzalez retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Orioles face Verlander when we come back. coming up. Boy, final weekend, the great shirts are everywhere. Here's the starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest. Low fares, nothing to hide. That's transparency. Mullins, VR, Jones, Mancini, Beckham, and Nunez. Stewart, Rickert, and Joseph. Tim Beckham comes in with a 4-game streak.
Yeah, so Justin Verlander, another incredible year. You can see the slider, and that's probably because he tightened it up when he came over last year from the Tigers right at the trading deadline, about 2 minutes, maybe even 30 seconds before the deadline. And then when 5-0, gave up 4 runs in 5 starts. You know, MVP in the championship series, pitched well in division, won a couple of games, 16 wins here, still throws. Usually ends up somewhere in the mid-90s. Slider, curveball, changeup. Gets you out 4 different ways, and usually does.
35-year-old, 204 wins in his career and 123 losses. Mullins will go after the pitch down and in. He'll bring Davis, who's playing at third base, in for the first 2 pitches, and then Davis will back up with the 2-strike count on Mullins. Cedric had a 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. Big average here at home, 320 in his major league debut this season. He's liked Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and the pitch up high to him, 1-2. So Verlander against the Orioles, no record this year. Did pitch early in the year against them in the Houston series. He gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, 5 2/3 innings, non-decision in the game. Verlander is 10-5 in his career against the Orioles with a 3.75 ERA. It's his 21st start lifetime against the Orioles, and in this ballpark he is 8-1 with a 2.63 ERA. That'll go the other way and foul. How about this outfield alliance? How interesting. You don't see this a lot. They have got Kemp in left, in, I mean way in and way over towards the line. The center fielder Springer is over towards the power alley, and they've moved Reddick into the power alley in right center. That's a different lineup than we have seen against Cedric Mullins in the outfield here this year. 2-2 delivery, and he will pop that one up first base side. Catcher coming back. Maldonado's got to play. Yes.
Well, take a look at their defense, and again, I mean, kind of like the way we pitched Maury Wills in the World Series in 1966. Kemp in left. You can almost shake hands with him. He's that close. Springer, Reddick, really good outfielders. J.D. Davis, Correa, Gonzalez, Tyler White, who played last night over at first, and then we saw the arm of Martin Maldonado, who came over July 26th from the Angels to the Astros.
Jonathan Villar with the 0 for 1 against Verlander last night. Villar had a 1 for 3. Orioles switch hitter in the number 2 spot. Villar vying for playing time for next year. He's at second base in this ball game.
Well, he can play shortstop.
Yep.
He's really impressed me.
0-1 delivery on the way, will be taken inside for a ball. Verlander 1-1, and we said a pronounced fly ball pitcher, more so this year than ever in his career. 1-1 ballpark, of course, where fly balls can be dangerous for pitchers unless you keep it in the middle of the yard. Breaking ball will cut down and in. 2-1.
Well, he's only, I mean, it's funny. He got off to a great start, 4-0 ERA at 1.36, 0.86 ERA early on in May. Struggled a little bit in June, same in August, but not this month. 3-0 with a 1.33, so he's getting ready for the postseason.
He will be the starter. Dallas Keuchel is going to be in game 2. Will be the other starter in the first couple of games in the postseason.
Well, he beat Boston twice, once in relief and once as a starter last year, and then again the MVP against the Yankees in the championship series.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way, and the fastball taken up high, 96 miles an hour. Still has that power.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. I mean, he's 35. He's closing in on 2,800 innings. You know, kind of reinvented himself. They changed the grip on his slider, kind of took away some fastballs, so it gave him a little different pitch. But he can still pitch in the upper 90s.
3-2 delivery, and there's a heater. He leads the league in strikeouts That is number 281.
Yeah,
that'll bring up Adam.
10, Adam Jones.
Fans have really responded on their own, believing this is Adams' last weekend. And I asked the question, talked about it for a while, why not re-sign him? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, he can still play. He's a face of the ball club. He's a veteran on a team that's going to be very young. He's a leader. He's deeply involved in the community. He can play right field. He can DH. He can still play. I don't understand why. The assumption is he's gone, and I think it's a valid assumption, but I don't get it.
Well, but why? Just because you wanted to send him to Philadelphia, where he could have, of course, they folded, but he could have gone to another team, doesn't mean he can't come back. It's a sensible thing to do.
0-2 delivery will be taken outside. 1 ball, 2 strike count. He has been as consistent this year as he has been in every year of his career. He's right where the numbers usually are.
Yeah, the only thing down is the home runs, and like I told you before the game, I would bet the ranch he'll hit over 20 next year.
Yep.
I mean, he's got more hits to right field.
And Verlander will get him. So Verlander gets a couple of strikeouts here in the first inning. He retires the side in order. Close ball game last night. Pitchers dominated. Will it be so in game 1? And obviously it's not going to be very good anywhere. Yeah, the road number, those 19 wins, it is the worst road record the Orioles have had since coming to Baltimore. And as a result of the loss last night, the home record is going to be the worst that the Orioles have had at home since they came on board. And the fact of the matter is there's just not much there that's any good. The home ERA is a little lower than the road, but the magic number is 4, and it's 4.77 at home and higher on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand how you hit more home runs here at Camden Yards, but I've never understood over the last years that I've been doing this why all of a sudden when you put on the gray uniform you go and play well. It's just, you know, they just get to hit last.
Yeah.
And you hope they get to hit last because that means you have a lead. They don't get, just think about the ERA on the road. It's 5.70, but how many times on the road have you not even pitched the 9th inning? So it's even worse than it really. That's over 8 innings.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but I just don't understand. It's not like this is a ballpark. You know, I guess maybe we've gotten home run guys that hit home runs here that don't hit them on the road because the dimensions are a little bit different. But that's certainly not the case now with Trumbo with a knee problem. You know, had that taken care of. He'll be back. But you have more speed on this club, you would think. And we saw a little bit on the road that they play a little bit more competitive baseball.
1-2 delivery to White. Breaking ball will be taken down low. The previous record on the road for the Orioles in fewest wins was 20. That was set in 1988 when they went 20-61 The Orioles finished up this year 19-62. Those are the numbers since the ball club came here from St. Louis. 2-2 delivery on the way. Inside out swing, foul territory. Trey Mancini will not have a play. White getting his first look at the Orioles starter, Dylan Bundy. He played last night, had an 0 for 4, and has not had a hit in his last 10 ball games.
Yeah,
we
were going to see Gaddis in this lineup because he's playing behind him as the DH, but they say, well, Evans streaky, and there's a slider that he reacts to late because it stays up, probably a strikeout pitch if it's down. So there's Evan, and now he's going to, they don't know who's going to be the DH. Of course, Marwin Gonzalez can play everywhere. He can move to first base in a blink of an eye.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and gets him at 83 miles an hour.
Well, that's the slide ball, and for Dylan, that's his best pitch. Since he's lost velocity on the fastball, this is the equalizer. And we saw it in Boston. I mean, it's perfectly thrown. Can't draw it up any better.
2 strikeouts for Bundy, and that will bring up Gaddis. Evan Gaddis, designated hitter, 1 at bat last night. 2 plate appearances, 1 0 for 1, and had a walk. Defensive replacement late in the ball game for Gaddis.
Now, he hit a rocket that Chase Peterson kept from going down into the corner with a leaping grab.
He's having a big year in RBIs. 0-1 delivery on the way to him. Gaddis a swing and a foul tip. 78 RBIs, second most in his career. He had 88 back in 2015. He is basically an all or nothing hitter. In fairness, 25 home runs and 78 RBIs. He's a modern day producer with big swings like that on virtually every pitch, and he's gone.
And then Dylan, trying to work on that front side. So, I mean, we haven't seen him as we look at our Mercedes pitch count throw 94 in a long time. So you can see, I mean, Yang, look at the extension now. And then all of a sudden that little extra just makes it easier when you get over your front side. A lot of times he kind of poses with that back leg, so able to get over the front side and add a little velocity, and it worked.
That'll bring up J.D. Davis. 3 strikeouts in a row picked up by Bundy. Another big slugging infielder out of Elk Grove, California. Last year, first season, major leagues. He got in 24 games with Houston. He moved all the way up, AA, AAA in the big club, all in 1 year last year. It's only his 5th professional season, and he will take the pitch for a strike. He selected in the 3rd round of the 2014 draft, J.D. Davis. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
And we saw Kyle Tucker play right field last night. Another guy. They both had big years down at AAA Fresno. PCL is a hitter's league, and Tucker will take a look, and so there you go. You better tell somebody, better Tim Beckett, he hits 53% of his balls right to you. Get ready now.
It's coming your way. And a check swing this time that's going to be fouled back and out of play.
So that's Dylan Bundy. 94 was what Dylan Bundy did 3 years ago. The first year when he came up, he pitched out of the bullpen, got some starts. He was 94 to 97. So it's there. And the injuries to the elbow, Tommy John surgery, and then the shoulder injury were a long time ago.
And we'll go upstairs and just able to get the bat on that 1 and 2.
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about. And then it doesn't mean you can't pitch well. It just makes it a little bit harder if you stay in the middle of the plate and you pitch in Camden Yards and you pitch in the American League East. Some of the best offenses.
1 and 2. He's hitting only $133. Davis is against right-handers in the chances he's had this year. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be a base hit right center field. That one stayed up, and he went up and got it. And Davis is on with a single. Second hit comes with 2 down here in the 2nd inning. The regular season schedule at Oriole Park, it will end tomorrow. The O's host these Astros, and the first 20,000 fans 15 and over will receive an Orioles duffel bag. Tickets start as low as $15. Get yours at Orioles.com. Last day of the season tomorrow. Doubleheader today. So if you're in the area, not at the ballpark yet, come on out. Second game will start about 30 minutes after the first. Single admission to watch both. Here is Martin Maldonado. Maldonado's got a 1 for 4 lifetime off Bundy, and he's got a 1 strike count with the runner at first base. He had a 9 for 22 against the Orioles coming into this game with a couple of home runs. Maldonado behind the plate, 49% now throwing out base stealers, second in the majors to that guy in St. Louis. That guy in St. Louis. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and that will be in there for.
Well, you think back, and you talked about it in the open. I mean, Marishnik makes the game-winning save. He throws out Mullins in a 2-1 ball game, trying to steal a base early on in the first inning after he gets on. All those things make a little difference, and the 1-run wins. The amazing thing, and you talked about it as you signed off, they're only 23 and 24 in 1-run games.
Yep.
I looked at that number yesterday. I was amazed.
So he strikes the side out, giving up a single along the way, and he's got 4 Ks in the ball game. Season for him, the second half has been that.
Yeah, you don't find too many young hitters that make this kind of adjustment. You know, we talked to him over the beginning of the second half when he got hot. He said, "What, All-Star game? Just a moment of quiet contemplation of what I did wrong." And he never really played on it, Gary. But when he slid into that wall, because he got off to a pretty good start, that changed everything. It was the back leg, it was the knee, and right underneath the padding down the right field line. So totally different swing.
He leads it off against Verlander, and the breaking ball is going to be in there for a strike. Trey had an 0 for 4 in the game last night. That snapped a 6-game hit streak that he had. Beckham and then Nunez will be due up. 0-1 delivery on the way to him, and pitch will be outside. Now we have pitcher throwing out of shadows through the sun into the shadows.
Well, that's late September, October baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really what it's about. I mean,
1-1 delivery on the way. We see it so seldom because usually we don't play it.
Yeah, right. I mean, you usually see it sometime the last week of September, maybe early October, and then you get the wild card games, and of course, you want to, if you're on the East Coast, they want the East Coasters to see, so they start in the twilight out on the West Coast and all that, which makes it hard to see. I mean, there are all kinds of different times, and there's a nice little 96. But
Verlander coming in. He is number 3 in ERA at 2.6. We told you he's number 1 in strikeouts. He's going to be in another inning the leader in innings pitched. He's pitched 209 so far. Then he comes back inside and will miss with that. Opponent batting average at 201 is the 3rd lowest in the league. His road ERA is 2.28. That is the 2nd lowest in the American League.
Well, this is the 11th year that he's pitched 200 innings or more.
And upstairs again, foul tipped, and he's out of there.
But again, he goes over to Houston and he gives up 4 runs in 5 starts last year, and then the postseason. But again, very athletic windup, big guy, 6'5", maybe 225. #1 draft choice in the country out of Old Dominion. And he was always a guy that threw 95 to 100 in college.
Tim Beckham. Beckham's done pretty well against Verlander, 4 for 6. Timmy was not in the ball game last night, so he does have a 4-game hit streak coming into this one. He is 3 for 12 this year against Houston. And we will keep an eye on the scoreboard both today and tonight during our games. Colorado's in. They made it with a victory in their ball game last night. Second consecutive season. The Rockies will go. They also still have a chance to clinch the division. Chicago's got a chance to clinch today. The Cubs can clinch with a win over St. Louis and a loss by the Brewers. And the Dodgers, they got a very big win, 3-1 in the game last night against the Giants. They can clinch a playoff berth as early as today. The Dodgers can if they beat San Francisco or the Cardinals lose to the Cubs. The Dodgers right now are up 2 in the ball game this afternoon. 2-0 L.A.
How about Rayu? All of a sudden, the left-hander back. Ooh,
breaking ball froze him.
Well, when you're 6'5", I mean, the curveball, it's a great. The angle's terrific. You're throwing downhill, and that one, of course, that goes up. So you give up on it, and then the spin's good enough to get the top of the zone. I'm not sure you want to throw that many hangers, but because it's a little more hittable.
Then comes over the top, gets that pitch down and away for the 4th strikeout in a row.
Yeah, it just seemed like when he went to Houston, I mean, they had one of the better pitching coaches than Brent Strom, and they just got this. A.J. Hinch, their skipper was talking about it. They thumb a little bit more under the ball, so the slider got a little bit better, a little tighter, and it gives him an extra pitch. So there your whip. That's walks and hits per innings, and he's right there with Scherzer, DeGrom. He's going to win the Cy Young in the National League most likely. Snell, 21-game winner with the Rays.
Here is Nunez, 2 down, nobody on. He'll go after the pitch that is high.
Gary, I mean, we're looking. I don't know how many innings he's going to pitch, but in this light condition with this kind of stuff, very hard to see.
5 in a row retired by Verlander. Nunez got a banged up knee a little bit. Did come on to play off the bench last night, and obviously starting in this one. Verlander with the 0-1 delivery on the way. And that will be up high.
Oh, nope, actually, yeah.
In there, 0-2.
Yeah, there's the Angel Hernandez high strike. I mean, it's over. A little backup slider, but caught the top of Angel Hernandez's strike zone.
Their starters have worked through the year. Cole, 32 starts. Keuchel, 33. McCullers has got 22. That'll be put up in the air. Shade the eyes, shallow center. Whoa, and it will be hauled in. A little dangerous there as both Gonzalez and Correa came together. 1, 2, 3 innings. a major difference. Single season run differential record. See where the Astros are. 263, the third best since divisional play started. The Yankees 98 team and the 2001 Mariners, the only teams above them. The Orioles in 69 had a great number. For the Orioles, a minus 270 this year, the worst for the Orioles in their history. Second worst was 1988 with 239. That ball will be popped up down the line, so the big run differential number has really helped, obviously, with the pitching and hitting Houston's got. What a combination. And for Bucks Ball Club, just hasn't been there on either side.
Well, the defense, I mean, you can just go down the list. Starting pitching not where you want it to be.
Kemp goes to first. Great stop made Mancini, and he'll make the out himself.
Well, that's a double. He just snared a double in the sun. I mean, the more you see him, you realize, I mean, that's certainly his best defensive position. Yet as a rookie, Wayne Kirby taught him how to play the outfield. I mean, you know, not even thinking he's going to pull the ball like that, but he does. So look at those reads, like feet set again. Got the big glove, the big reach. Double taken away.
Remember, that is Mancini's position through his pro career, his first base. He had to move the outfield with Chris Davis at first. Pitch will be taken for his strike. So what happens next year? Trumbo comes back. Is he the DH? Chris Davis comes back. Does he play at first base?
Well, Chris Davis can play other positions.
Yeah.
I mean, he
played
really
third.
Yeah, he can play third. He can play the outfield. They just got to get him to figure out the batting.
Yep.
I mean, that's because it's not about strikeouts for Chris. You know, Stan's got well over 200 strikeouts, but over 30 doubles. His 37th home run, 36 and 37 home runs yesterday. Might have hit a couple more today. You know, he got 8 runs on the board already.
Pitch taken away, 1-2.
So they just got to figure that out. Got a winner to make some changes.
And how long do the Orioles give him next year if he comes back? 1-2 delivery will go all the way to the backstop. That one just slipped away. 6-game hit streak for George Springer, who grounded out his first time up. Big finish for him, hitting .333 in the month of September. He started 25 of the last 29 coming into this one. He had a sore left quad that kept him out of some games before that. 2-2 delivery put up in the air. Sun sky again. Cedric Mullins had to find this one. He comes in from center and will make the catch. 2 down. Maryland Lottery's home run richest contestant of the game is Greta Thomas from Fort Washington. Greta's already won $500 for being selected, $500 more for every Orioles home run hit during today's game. Greta, good luck. Correa coming up. He grounded out his first time up. With a win last night, the Astros have had their best month of the season. They are 19-5 in the month of September. They are finishing very much the way they did in September of their championship year last year. Same kind of numbers. There's the shift put on. Correa grounded to third his first time up. You go the other way, foul, and souvenir time. So Dylan Bundy and retire the side in order here in the 3rd inning. 0-2 delivery to him, up and in.
You can see again how hard it is to see right there. That's a hanger. You usually just wouldn't be diving out of the way. But this is the guy with the, you know, the oblique back problems. They got to get going.
1-2 delivery, ground ball this time to short. Beckham's got it over to Mancini. Good inning for Bundy as he retires the side in order here in the 3rd. Stewart will lead it off for the O's coming up. Brought to you by the University of Maryland University College. A big date for the Orioles. In 1953, Bill Veeck, the owner of the St. Louis Browns, agreed to sell his entire stake to the Baltimore-based group led by the mayor, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., and attorney Clarence Miles. The deal was approved by the owners, and the Browns began their move to Baltimore and, of course, renamed the Orioles. Wreck as in Veeck. Bill.
Yeah, lived down on the Eastern Shore. Got a chance to meet him on a lot of occasions. He said the great thing about baseball is you can read a book and watch the game. He said because there's a timing to it. You can be reading, you just know when to look up. I mean, when Tanaka pitches, maybe you can read 2 pages instead of 1. I mean, it depends on the pitcher, but there is a rhythm to the game.
You hope so.
Yeah. Well,
I hope
that's why they're going to make some changes.
Yeah. Stewart will go after a pitch up from Verlander. And the count goes to 0-2. 1 for 4 in the ball game last night for DJ Stewart. He's had hits for the last 5 starts.
Yeah, Cole threw it by him at 99, but then again, Babe might have had trouble with that pitch up and in at 99.
0-2
But
away.
again, Gary, if you're a veteran pitcher, and you mentioned Justin Verlander, 35 years old, and the guy's late in your first fastball, you got 3 other ways of getting him out, but if it's going to be, he can cut it inside. There is Garrett Cole. What an arm he has. What a year he's had.
1-2 delivery on the way over the top. Got him. That'll be strikeout number 5.
And again, you give up on it because of the movement. Again, he can pitch to both sides of the plate. Look at the target. Look at the ball. And of course, Maldonado, one of the experts, not only throwing, but just framing it, right around the kneecaps.
Verlander. He has not lost here in the month of September. He's 3-0 this month with a 1.33 ERA. Here in September, he has, with the 5 strikeouts today, he has struck out 45 in his September starts, and that covers 30 innings.
Yeah, when you have this kind of stuff, Gary, you got all the pitches, but you just react to the way the hitters are reacting to you. You're just going to make your pitches. Rickard's standing at the plate and you're playing catch with Maldonado. It's as simple as that when you have this kind of ability.
1 delivery on the way will be there. Rickard has faced him 6 times and has gone 0 for 6. Joey was not in the ball game last night, starting in left field, and this is his first game against Houston this year. 0-2 count from Justin Verlander, and a swing and a miss.
Yeah, that's a slider, and again, that made the big difference in the postseason in September last year. You make a little change. He used to be primarily a fastball, curveball, changeup pitcher. And this is a perfect slider. It's 89 miles per hour. Good tilt. That means you get on top of it, so it just goes down enough and away.
So Caleb Joseph will stand in.
Look at that number. Wow.
2 down, and Caleb will take the pitch for a strike. Caleb did not play last night. He's wielded a pretty good bat lately, 5 for 12 over the last 4, and he's hitting .306 in September. Verlander's faced 8 and struck out 6, and that will just miss away. This is a new career high for him. I mean, that's saying something at the age of 35 when it comes to strikeouts. It's a single season high. He struck out 269 in 2009, and now he's got 286 this year. Caleb will fight it off to the screen. We're talking about their starters and how consistent they have been. They are a ball club, proving the adage you win when you get the starts from the guys you expect to start. And Charlie Morton is coming back tomorrow to play. Verlander's had 33 starts. Their starters have 72 wins this year for Houston. And you know what? That's not the most. There's a team that has more from their starters, and that's the Cleveland Indians. The Indians have 75 wins. They're 75. The starters are 75 and 42.
Well, they had 4 guys with over 200 strikeouts. I mean, anybody. I think Houston, because they're defending world champions, they've been through it. But it's not going to be easy against Cleveland.
No.
And they're. I mean, and they start at home, but they're better on the road. I'm talking about the Astros. So maybe being at home is not a home field advantage for them.
Strikes the side out. 9 batters faced and 7 Ks. Drive RAV4. Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Real good crowd on hand. What great weather we had last night and again today, and looks like the same tomorrow. Remember, this is a doubleheader. Game 2, a half hour after the end of Game 1. Jeffrey Ramirez for the Orioles, 1-7. Left-hander Dallas Keuchel, 12-11 in Game 2. Single admission. So if you're in the area, come on, see the rest of this one in Game 2. Breaking ball is going to miss as Josh Reddick will lead it off. Reddick a base hit in the first inning. No score in the ball game. No runs, 2 hits. The Astros, zeros across for the Orioles. And Dylan Bundy's pitch up high. Strikeouts piling up for both. Bundy's got 4, 7 for Verlander.
Yeah, these are the counts that David Hess last night made the quality pitch. Look at the glove.
That'll be a base hit. He went against the D.
But see, again, the ball gets elevated. You know, you go back to the J.D. Davis base hit, 2 strikes. You know, a little different than being 2-0, but what he did, he missed his target by about 18 inches. So you know that Reddick's looking fastball. So make a good pitch. You can see, I mean, it's pretty hittable because it's belt high, 91. Probably maybe a mile or 2 less than what you hit off in batting practice when they're throwing from about 48 feet.
Boy, what a job against the Orioles. That's 9 for 15 this year against the Orioles. Josh Reddick came into the game today here in this ballpark hitting .371. Here's Gonzalez. He wraps one to right. It's going to stay up though. Hard line drive. Frozen rope on that one to Stewart, and there's one away. Well, take advantage of Kids Cheer Free during this Fan Appreciation Weekend. You can bring the youngsters 9 and under to Camden Yards free of charge. Every adult purchasing a regularly priced individual game ticket in the upper deck, you can bring up to 2 children free. It's Orioles.com/kidsfree. You got the second, you got today for the doubleheader, and then you got tomorrow for the final game.
And what duffel bag tomorrow? You got the first 35,000 today. The puffy vest.
Puffy vest out given away today.
The Kevlar vest will save you from balls coming into the.
You're convinced that vest is something catchers could
Well,
wear.
we almost took one off the dome in Fenway. I mean, the carom shot almost got us.
I still don't know where that ball went. 1-0 count, one down.
Of course, we're being accused by our production truck of being under the table.
Well, I was.
That was later on.
No. Oh. Well, 2 for 2.
Yeah. Well, you do go down. I mean, I told the story, and I've told him many times. I did snare one right in front of Howard Cosell, which I regretted for the rest of my life. But I actually, when Tom Davis was doing, I think, HTS, he used to be up and, you know, doing from the back of the booth between innings. And one hit the top of the monitor, and we're on the chairs like we are now, the roll. So I kind of rolled out of the way and went down, and they're shooting. Tom was like he was like a boxing referee, counting me out. You know, 7, 8. I mean, I went right over. It's dodgeball.
I take great
They're
pride
hard.
in going under the table. That'll be right the first double play. Line drive as Reddick was running.
Yeah, Tyler White goes, what do I need to do?
He went up to protect the runner and went after the pitch that was about a foot over his head. No score. by Johns Hopkins Orthopedics. When you have a setback, they set you up for a comeback. And by University of Maryland, University College. No score in this ball game. Bundy will go back to work. Early fall day, very comfortable. I don't know if he or she knows that's on top of the helmet or not. Could be a trick. Here is Mullins, and the pitch will be taken up high. Mullins popped out his first time up. Verlander has gone through the lineup, retiring the first 9 with 7 strikeouts.
So let's see. A actually gets hit higher the first time through the order, and then 192, which is still a very low number, and then it drops to 178. With the Tigers, he used to, I mean, early on, he just, he was throwing close to 100 early on. Then he would, he'd go 92, 93, and then he'd get into the 6th, 7th inning. He'd be into the upper 90s. Seems like he's changed that philosophy.
Trying to lead the American League in strikeouts for the 5th time in his career. He's on top right now. Cedric Mullins, 1 ball, 1 strike count. In at third, Davis. Infield shifted around, and that's where he hits it. Now somebody's got to cover first. White does. Play made by Gonzalez for the out. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in today's game. Final weekend of the 18 baseball season. There is a need because of a division tie for first or a tie for a second wild card spot. That would come on Monday. 1 down, and that will bring up Jonathan Villar. Villar, a strikeout victim, his first time to the plate. Davis stays in at third. Villar takes it up high for a ball. Pretty much set. The American League ready to go to the playoffs. Boston, Cleveland, Houston. Yankees and Oakland. Yankees have clinched the top spot in the wild card, so the wild card game will be played in New York. The winner will play the Red Sox. Cleveland will play Houston in Houston. And that pitch is away. So Villar, one of the few times a hitter gets ahead 2-0. Shady days on the infield, just a little bit coming through on the first base side. Right field's the only sun field at the moment. Timeout asked for as Verlander wanted a new baseball. The left-hander's hitting only 180 against him. Right-hander's 218. Virtually no difference. And no difference in the home runs. 14 surrendered each side of the plate. 2-0 pitch on the way, and that is there for a strike at the knees.
Yeah, when you look at that West race, the Dodgers, 2 up on the Cardinals. They're lucky that the Cubs have to win their division, so they have to play at a high level, and they just happen to be playing the cards, and the Dodgers have to figure out a way to win.
Cardinals right now are the team in the most trouble, as their drive to get there could be ended as early as today. We'll see. 1 LA win or Cardinal loss, and the Cardinals are out, and LA is winning 2-1 in their ball game this afternoon in San Francisco.
Yeah, but because the Brewers have 67 losses and the Cubs have 66, they need to win because they want to win the division.
2-2 check swing foul.
Or as you mentioned last night, they will have to play a tiebreaker.
Now Chicago can clinch the Cubs. They clinch the division today if they win over the Cardinals and a loss by the Brewers. Brewers are playing the Tigers, so they got to have both happen. The Cubs do in order to have a clinch today. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Villar. Over the top, pops it up, shallow center. Springer will get there and put it away. 2 down.
Well, again, the 15 wins, 200 Ks, and Clemens did it 10 times. Bly 11. They finally got in the Hall of Fame. Much deserved work. Walter Johnson, one of the greats. Nolan Ryan with over 300 wins, over 5,500 strikeouts, and then once again Adam Jones getting a hand.
Adam stands in with 2 down, nobody on. Strikeout victim his first time up. There's that great pitch down and away.
That's that slider.
Slider's almost unhittable. It is the money pitch. Verlander has, particularly against the right-handers, but even against the left-handers.
here we
it
just
comes in on your hand so far.
Well, you have to give them a lot of credit in Houston because they just made a change.
That one to the gap in left center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. It'll go to the wall. Adam on his way to second base. He will pick up a 2-out double.
Well, with the Ryder Cup on, he just golfed it. And finally got a ball in the middle of the plate. You finally got a ball down because he'd been riding the ball in the strike zone all night long. So you can see right there, key shot, left center, right up the gap. Nobody's going to catch this one. Hit too hard.
So that is the first hit for the Orioles. Verlander had retired 11 in a row. And now the Orioles get a runner in scoring position, and Trey Mancini at the plate. Orioles went 1 for 4 in these situations last night. Verlander going to the stretch here. They'll give Jones a lot of room for a secondary lead. Mancini on the over the top down and in, and a 1-strike count. He struck out his first time to the plate. Trey has had only a couple of hits against Houston this year, 2 for 16. One of those hits was a home run. And he's had a couple of RBIs against him. 0-1 count, 2 away. That one down low. Good block made by Maldonado.
Yeah, perfect block.
Mancini trying to get him home. Outfield pretty deep, especially in the corners against him. That sun still a problem in the outfield, right and center, depending on the angle.
And the other thing, right at first base.
Yep.
You know, Tyler White might be affected on a throw, or especially if it's probably up the middle. Might be looking right in the sun. In fact, when Brad Brock got a blown save on opening day when a high hopper went into Chris Davis's eyes. There's that one band of light that can come in here.
Right on the bag at first. 1-1 delivery on the way. For Verlander this year, with runners in scoring position, teams hitting 194. When there are 2 down, 120.
And what Cole was, what, 176, even a little bit lower. That's the one thing about Trey Mancini. He cannot wait to restart that runner in scoring position number. It's been a struggle all year long.
First half was just so bad.
Yeah.
Too many at bats to get out of it.
Under 100. And then, of course, last year hit 342. Just one of those. You know, league average is usually in the 250 range, somewhere around 253, 4. He's at 144 as we get to the second to last game.
That one's going to get away. Adam Jones will move up. So that one bounced. It'll be the 5th wild pitch by Verlander this year.
Yeah, the curveball, again, it usually bounces out because it's slower. Try to, the slider, he just caught it, but I mean, that was way out there, so you get the higher hop, more spin on it. And you can see out there, I don't even know what about 59 feet. Couldn't flag it down.
Well, Adam Jones at third. That much closer. He'll get a good secondary lead in case there's another wild pitch, because Davis is way back at third. 2-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss. It won't matter. Verlander gets another one, so that's 8 strikeouts, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Back then today, PNC make today the day.
Well, the Orioles trying to delve into the international prospects. They have not done it at much level, a little bit more so this year. So there are the guys. Which all you have to do is look across the diamond. You see Yuli Gurriel, what, 5-year, $47.5 million deal. Much older Cuban player, but he was a big part of their winning. You know, we hear the name Victor Mesa, but there is Yuli. We'll see if he plays the second game. Line drive hitter, home run guy on occasion. Good change up there, first of the day.
Big whirlybird swing right there. Charlie Lyle would have been proud.
Well, yeah, he always said you got to release the hold on with the lead hand and release the other one. Make sure that you get through it.
Evan Gattis, strikeout victim, his first time up. 0-1 delivery. Victor Mesa, that international #1. Now that #1 ranking comes from MLB.com, Baseball America. I know the Orioles are not sure that he's really #1, nor are they sure that he's worth as much as he's going to ask for when compared to other international available players. So I say that only because I think the Orioles are going, yeah, obviously we'll consider him and we'll see what it looks like, but we think there are some other players who maybe are as good or just barely below for a whole lot less money. So we'll see. 0-2 count. And a big swing and a miss, and Bundy's got 5.
So 3 line drives in the 4th inning, and right here some high heat. I mean, right there, perfect pitch. So we've seen much better fastball, better arm speed. You know, on occasion we've seen the real good slider.
Dylan Bundy sets him down. Leadoff man retired, 5th inning. J.D. Davis, a base hit, his first time up. And the fastball will be taken away. Davis with a 1-for-3 lifetime now against the Orioles starter. .1-0 delivery and a bouncer. .2-0 count. Davis to be followed, and the catcher Maldonado, and a good 83 breaking ball in for a strike 2-1.
Well, again, I mean, that's a great pitch in the sense that most guys that have the kind of power numbers that J.D. Davis has, they can hit the fastball. So that's a fastball count through something else.
2-1 delivery to him, and then comes back with a fastball.
And goes right up the ladder.
So he gets him to 2-2.
Well, Dylan, you know, Dylan may not be striking out 12 per 9 innings, but he is about a strikeout per inning on the course of the season, even though, as you mentioned, the 39 home runs lead the major leagues, but he can strike you out, the best of them.
He has done that in the Orioles annals of history, and there's another one. So he's got 6, strikes out the first 2 here in the 5th inning. Now Dylan, in the strikeout department, the highest single season number for the Orioles since coming to Baltimore in strikeouts per 9 innings belongs to Eric Bedard. Bedard had a 10.93 strikeout per 9 inning rate. Bundy is now 2nd all time for the Orioles at 9.62 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Well, he had the complete game back on May 24th. Did that game in Chicago, 14 strikeouts. Another game with 10. That was against Toronto. A couple of 8s.
Martin Maldonado, a strikeout victim. 0-1 delivery will be way outside. Dylan's problems getting wins to go with it. He is 2-9 with an ERA of 7.88 since July 1. 21 home runs in 14 starts over that span. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery over the way. And foul back again. 2 down, nobody on. Verlander, Bundy dominating the ball game here in game 1 of our doubleheader. Jeffrey Ramirez, Dallas Keuchel, game 2 a half hour after this one is finished. Roger McDowell, pitching staff in pretty good shape with the effort made by David Hess with his 7-inning performance last night, protecting a number in the bullpen. The 1-2 delivery did not go around. Chris Siegel's the umpire at first base. He's the extra on the crew when you have a doubleheader.
Yeah, a little backup slider, and
could have gone either way.
Yeah,
on that,
right.
probably.
Yeah, in either land where it could have gone either way.
Chad Whitson, Bill Miller, the other umpires. Bill's the crew chief down at third. Checking the count, it looks like Martin Maldonado with the home plate umpire, Angel Hernandez. 2-2 delivery by Bundy, and that'll be off the end of the bat.
Yeah, the amazing thing about Dylan's start, he pitched well early and didn't get any wins. Then he pitched through the groin problem, 8, 7, and 7 runs, then really good all the way. That was from what? All the way from May all the way to June, and then all of a sudden 8, 7, 7 again. So there's just been 3 games, 3 games on 2 occasions where he just hasn't had any command. I mean, the game against Kansas City didn't get an out, gave up 7 runs. Very unlike him.
By the way, the Cardinals beat the Cubs today 2-1. Cardinals are alive. Cubs still haven't clinched.
What a big win that is.
3 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Ground ball, a chopper. Big hop. Nunez will make the throw over, and another good solid inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Bundy, 1, 2, 3. Zip, zip. Justin Verlander, what matters most to him? And he was talking in terms of considering who should win the Cy Young. For me, innings pitched is one of the most important numbers for a starting pitcher because of the durability aspect, the effect it has on the rest of the team, not only your the day you're pitching, but your bullpen, being able to rest those guys. You eclipse 200 innings. For me, that's kind of the number. That's a job well done. Even the years when I was hurt, I took real pride in being able to get to 200. Even though it wasn't high quality, his ERA in 04 was 4.54 when he was hurt. The innings to me means you're posting every day. You're going deep into games. You're setting the team up for success. The words of Justin Verlander.
He said it's a ripple effect. And that's why you were talking about all the 3 guys. Keuchel's going to pitch the second game. Cole all over 200 innings. So if you're A.J. Hinch, less pressure on your bullpen.
Yep.
And the other thing is, again, I mean, they're able to get hitters out. The third, not on very often on the 4th time. So they're able to do that, and you get to use the guys you want to use.
1-0 delivery, throttles back on it to Beckham. And Buck Showalter, we mentioned it last night. Buck said, we were talking about pitchers, the innings pitch, because he loves, obviously, as a manager, you want guys who can go deep. Buck said, I don't think you're going to see this again. 3 pitchers on the same team with 200 or more innings pitched in a season. Now, I was surprised because we did a little research. San Francisco Giants 2016 were the last team to do that, and then there was a team a couple years before that who had that. So it's not as though it hasn't happened recently on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, Cleveland
Detroit did it in 2014.
Yeah, Cleveland could do it.
Yeah.
You know, Bauer got hurt this year with the wrist injury. But now, of course, the other competition is a guy by the name of Blake Snell out of, and he only pitched what he missed about 10 days. He had some shoulder fatigue or whatever, but his numbers are spectacular. I mean, they really are.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, 21-5. Forget the wins. I mean, you know, Verlander at 16-9. So he's going to end up maybe 25 innings less, which is still a lot of significant innings.
I think Snell wins.
But a 190 ERA and a runner in scoring position number.
He got him.
Yeah, there's a curveball.
9 strikeouts.
Yeah. I mean, when you got a runner in scoring position number at 111, that's 1-1-1. There's another hook, and yeah, it's a perfect time to pitch and the perfect type of stuff. This guy can be overpowering. Maldonado brings it into the zone. The 9th K.
So that's a new high for this year. He had 8 against Texas back in May. His career high is 13. That also was against Texas back in 2015. 1 down, nobody on. Here's Nunez, popped out his first time up. No score in this ball game. Whoa, where did that go?
Yeah. Well, if the catcher with the big glove can't see it, it gives you an idea. I mean, that's a 95 6-mile-per-hour fastball with some movement. Watch it run right there. And he did. Oof. We saw Bill Miller last night get. Wins didn't even flank it down. Hit him right in the left arm. And surprised he doesn't have it in a sling.
Thank goodness Maldonado got a piece of the glove on that. 0-1 delivery on the way. Nunez down to third. Tough play. Davis can't make it. So Nunez is on. Infield hit, I would think. It is.
I didn't see much of a knee problem. He was scampering pretty good.
He was.
There it is. And again, very, very deep. Very, very deep. Felt like it's the only way to catch it, pick it up. Of course, Bregman will be playing third base, who had a marvelous postseason last year with the glove.
So the Orioles will pick up their second hit. Double, single. Verlander had retired 11 in a row before Adam Jones got the double. Retired 2 more on strikeouts. Now Nunez a single. And that'll bring up Stewart. Called out on strikes his first time up. DJ Stewart. Shift on. Goes against it. Shortstop, third baseman back. And Davis has got it.
Yeah, a little jam shot.
So much to see and do in the beaches and islands of Sarasota, Florida's Gulf Coast. Go beyond the stadium to the area's beaches, known to be some of the best in the world. Plan now at visitsarasota.com. You don't want to go to the big beach, siesta, go to Turtle Beach. It's just down the road, beautiful, and usually not nearly as many people there. 2 down with a base hit for Nunez. That'll bring up Joey Rickard, a strikeout victim, his first time up.
Little grill grouper. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And funny you should mention that, because the place for the grill grouper is directly across the street from the entrance to the beach. I mean, you just easy walk. You walk from the beach across the street. It's one of those bars with a nice outdoor patio. And they make a very fine grouper sandwich. 1-0 count, 2 down. Hit's been hard to come by. Base runners hard to come by in this one. And that will be in the outside corner for a strike. Joey leaning out. Could not go after it. See how far Hinch wants to go with Verlander today. It's a tune-up. Probably a lot of it will be up to Verlander, how far he wants to go.
Yeah, 67 pitches, and yeah, that's a really good point. Justin, how do you feel?
Yep.
What do you want to do? Carried us last year in the postseason. We expect it again. So what do you need?
He's been there enough to make those kind of decisions for himself. They'll host Cleveland Friday. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Verlander over the top, just missed outside with it.
Well, he does have command. You talked about the whip under. I mean, he could, and when you have a good windup, and you're a former Cy Young Award winner, MVP as he was in 2011, #1 draft choice. He's the real deal. And if you're hitting, you know that. It's not a comfortable at bat.
2-1 delivery on the way, and then he goes again with that pitch down and away.
Yeah, so just in case, Joey, Mr. Rickard, young player, if you're looking for a fastball, no, you're not going to get it. And this is postseason right here. This is the way you pitch Judge and Stanton. They're looking fastballs. I mean, this is the way you do it. You know, whether it's Encarnacion, I mean, Lindor, you know, they're going to start with Cleveland and hope they'll get to whoever wins the Yankee Red Sox or Oakland.
And the same pitch a little further outside, and that is strikeout number 10. Gets 2 more in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on, no score.
It is now time to
Executive Director of the Homeless Persons Representation Project, Antonia Fasanelli. For over 10 years, she has had that position. She has grown the organization from 1 county to the entire state, provides free civil, legal advocacy for persons struggling with homelessness, and on behalf of Antonia, the Orioles Charitable Foundation donating $2,500 to the Homeless Persons Representation Project.
What a great effort that is. I mean, so needed. I mean, all across this country. I mean, it's everywhere we go. It's a problem.
It is. It is that. Tony Kemp, what's he doing up?
Really
Kemp grounded out his first time up. He got robbed down at first. Trey Mancini made a great play on him. Kemp on a swing and a miss.
Yeah. Trey will probably even be able to see the ball this time. Because it was right into the sun. He still made a great play.
He has not had a hit in his last 19 at bats, yet has been one of the leading hitters in the 9 spot in all of baseball. .313 is his batting average, hitting 9th in the lineup, the best in the majors.
Yeah, great on base percentage to go with it.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Bundy will come inside to him. Dillon, no walks, 6 strikeouts. In the ball game, Reddick has had a couple of hits. Josh Reddick with 2 singles off Dylan Bundy. That's been the hot hitter in the lineup. Davis has a single as well. The other side of it, the Orioles, the double by Adam Jones, single by Nunez. There are only 2 hits. Verlander with 10 strikeouts. It's the 13th time this year Verlander has had 10 or more Ks in a game. Bundy's 3-2 delivery, and there is the first free pass to the ball game.
Well, that's what you talked about, just the on base percentage, because he took a 3-2 changeup.
And he's on. After tomorrow's home game versus the Astros, it's the final Kids Run the Bases presentation by Wise Markets. You can watch the kids' big league dreams come true. Ages 4 to 14 can run the bases after the ball game tomorrow. For tickets, go to Orioles.com/kids. A season wrap up. Every game in the majors starts at 3 tomorrow. And the 3 Eastern.
Yeah, 3 Eastern.
Springer is 0 for 2. Leadoff batters, grounded out, strikeout.
Yeah, we don't have any people on the West Coast showing up 3 hours late.
No.
No. Because there could be some meaningful games out there.
Yes,
depending on what happens.
The way it's going right now,
yeah.
may well be true.
Yeah. Well,
Dodgers still leading the Giants 5-3 in their
yeah.
game.
Well, how about Milwaukee? If Cubs lose, if Milwaukee wins, they'll be tied for the division series. And
That could be a playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, instead of having to play a wild card game, you get to actually play the Cubs to see who plays the division, the 3 out of 5.
Well, the Cubs cannot clinch today. They lost to the Cardinals, as we told you, 2-1. So they can't clinch. Pitch will be inside. They needed a win in their ball game, and they needed a loss by the Brewers to clinch. So that division, as far as the Cubs, are going to come down to the games, at least to the games tomorrow in the final day. Dylan Bundy, 1-0 count. Springer, 6-game hit streak. Inside out foul.
Well, the MVP in the World Series, what, 5 home runs in those 7 games? It's kind of like home run derby. Well, both teams were exhausted, at least their bullpens. Talk
about non-playoff baseball.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. Well,
you never know. This ball game, that does that to you, even in the World Series. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Good lead over there, and Dylan Bundy's going to keep him close. Bundy has had problems with the base runners going. They are 17 for 22 against him this year.
Yeah, Kemp 9 out of 12, so there is some speed there. Yeah, the guy Springer, who, I mean, strikes out a lot, but he can, he can use the whole field, so you have some options.
Runner does not go.
Yeah, good swing there.
Springer in the World Series last year hit .379 along with those 5 home runs, 7 RBIs. He had a 1,000 slugging percentage, 1.00.
Well, if you're with us yesterday, we talked about rebuilding this club. He was a big part of it. #1 draft choice, so the 11th picked in the first round back in 2011, and he was in the big leagues in 2014.
And Bundy will move him.
That worked his way through the minor leagues out of the University of Connecticut.
Springer played 3 years with the Yukon Huskies, and college ball. Broke in 2011 minor leagues. 2 ball, 2 strike count on him. The runner takes off on 2-2, does not, and the pitch is outside, and a nice stop made by Caleb Joseph.
Yeah, so now the deep counts, 3rd time through the order. Didn't want to walk the first guy. He earned it, taking that 3-2 changeup that a lot of hitters might chase. The moment of truth, and then of course this is how you sometimes you get Verlander, who's as good as he's just Verlander.
Springer will wait on the 3-2. Just turned 29 years old last week. Runner goes. There it goes. Way back in left field, and goodbye. Home run. Springer delivers the long ball. It'll bring 2 across the plate, and a 2-0 lead for the Astros.
Well, that's what he brings to the table. I mean, he hits the fastball real well. He can look for it there. And if Dylan doesn't throw a good slide, you can see right there, 419 feet in a hurry, 104 miles per hour, almost 105. And it's just a fastball in the middle of the plate. I mean, it's just hammered.
Yep, and Springer early drove that one. With the full body weight behind it. Number 22, RBI 70 and 71. Down the right field side. That's way back, and goodbye home run. Carlos Correa on consecutive pitches. The Astros have delivered 2 homers of Dylan Bundy and have a 3-0 lead.
I saw A.J. Hint talking to Joe Espada, the bench coach. He's got to be pleased. Little changeup that he takes the other way. Didn't go as far as Springer's, but adds another run. I mean, it's just a changeup. Lets it travel and just belts it. Around some breaking balls earlier in the game. This time lets it travel a little bit and just hammers it to right.
It's 41 home runs surrendered by Dylan Bundy. Pitch will be taken up high. Josh Reddick has 2 singles. So an inning that starts with a Kemp walk is followed by Springer and Correa home runs. 1-0 delivery on the way. Breaking ball will be taken down low. Josh Reddick ahead on the count here, 2-0. The 7th time this year the Astros have had back-to-back home runs. And one a line drive, Correa, the other a towering fly ball, Springer. Reddick back into the screen, 2 ball 1 strike count.
Well, they're happy about Carlos Correa, Gary, because he's a lot like Manny Machado. I talked about that last night. You know, he's a shortstop. You know, Manny came to the big leagues as a third baseman, but when they're hitting well, they hit the ball all over, and he can drive it, as you saw, to right field.
That'll be foul back and out of play. Well, the Astros explode here in this inning with the long ball to jump on top. They're after their 102nd win of the year. 2 ball 2 strike delivery on the way. That's up the middle. It'll be played on a hop. Beckham, the long throw is not in time. An infield hit for Reddick, who is 3 for 3.
Yeah, you backpedal, and then Reddick smelling a base hit. So you're going to see a kind of a sidearm flip if you can't get anything on that type of throw. I don't know if it would have made a whole lot of difference the minute you wanted to get the easy hop. Right there it is. But I mean, you're way out on the grass. So if you don't come up, and you see Cal Ripken do this. You know, Junior used to have the flip that just, I know I'm going to get him out. But when he had to go into the hole and get up on top, and Beckham can do that a little bit, but he flipped that one and Reddick beat it out.
So the bullpen activated for the Orioles. Base hit for Reddick, Cody Carroll. Three runs, 6 hits. Only 3 hits in the first 5 innings. There have been 3 hits, consecutive hits, here in the 6th. Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez has struck out and flied out. And he will take the pitch for a strike. So Bundy trying to settle it down. The long ball just will not go away for Dylan Bundy. Last game, Boston got 1 off him. Breaking ball, that'll be in the dirt, and he's had numerous multi-homer games against him. Kansas City had one where they got 4, which is the most any team has had against him this year, but there have been a number of 2 and 3 homer ball games. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at first, short lead, 1-1 delivery. In case you're wondering, the record for home runs surrendered by a pitcher in a season goes to our good friend Bert Blyleven. He gave up 50 pitching for Minnesota in 1986. 50.
But I went back when we were kind of joking about that.
Off speed got him.
Good changeup right there. And
2 and 2.
Of course, I'm looking at him and go, how'd you hold those home runs? And he starts laughing because he threw 49, I think, the year before or the next year afterwards. But it's also in about 290 innings.
Mm-hmm.
So and it was he was pitching in the Metrodome or Homer Dome. Yep. Great place to hit, but he also
get over it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
the
other thing is, I can Google what he won. He still went over.
Center field, that ball hit deep and near the warning track. Cedric Mullins will put it away. Runner tags, throw's going to come to second, and in is going to be Reddick, but not by a lot. Gonzalez out of there in the long fly ball. And a strong throw by Cedric Mullins.
Yeah, Reddick, he knows the ball is going to be caught, and he can, again, the play's all in front of him. So good throw, and you're right, accurate, right on the money.
Just missed coming up with it. Cedric Mullins. So 1 away, runner on at second base. 3 runs in here in the inning, and here's White. He is hit into a double play. Tyler White Shifted infield. He'll take the pitch outside for a ball. Houston, a ball club, along with everything else that they do right. For the team they have with the offense, some running, and all the great pitching, probably say they hit just enough home runs. They're right in the middle of the pack. 7th in home runs hit, 202 on the year for Hinch's ball club.
And then you look at some of their players. We've seen Reddick 3 for 3, but he was hurt early, a leg infection. Altuve, missed a month with the knee. Correa missed 6 weeks with the back. So some of their best players, who usually hit a lot more home runs, I mean, another 10 or 12 each of them, or at least Correa and Altuve does. So their home runs are down. So they're just happy they're playing now and seem to be healthy.
Ball in the outfield being thrown back into the bullpen.
Yeah, last year they were the #1 offense in baseball, but they weren't as good pitching wise, as you mentioned. The Garrett Cole gives them another guy that, along with Morton, who we'll probably see tomorrow. He's won 15 games. They got a lot of really good pitching.
2-1 delivery will be a bouncer. Meaningless game today. Fenway Park. Yankees won again, 8-5. That ball game is over.
Set the all-time home run record. Liber Torres broke it at 265. They probably hit a few more.
3 ball, 1 strikeout with 1 down. Runner off second base. White will take the pitch, and it is in there for a strike. So a full count from Bundy, 3-2. Dillon here in his home ballpark in his career, 17-16. It's the 41st start he's had at home. ERA here at Camden Yards is 4.34 coming in. 3-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be foul. Well, interesting note, the Yankees with that win today, that is their 100th win of the year, and this is the first time in Major League history that 3 teams have had 100 wins in the same league. Boston, Houston, New York. First time in history. 3-2 delivery on the way, and he came in at 93 and gets it.
Yeah, Dillon's actually had, even the home run to Springer, better velocity than he's had in a long time. That home run was 93. This time he throws it right by him because he elevates it. Good side angle right there to see how the ball's slightly above the belt.
7 strikeouts. Mentioned earlier, his season high is 14, and that is also his career high. 2 down and a runner at second for Gaddis. He has struck out twice, and he will go after it and pop it up on the first base side. Mancini, the only one over there, will be called off, and it'll be put away by VR, the second baseman. But 3 runs in, back-to-back homers, back-to-back pitches. Springer, Correa.
to see twilight. Dylan Bundy and of course Verlander having a fabulous year. So a lot of strikeouts, 17 so far. And again, curveballs and sliders and changeups. I mean, you name them. Stewart down. Gaddis down on strikes. Same with Caleb on the curveball up the ladder. Again, a couple of home runs. That's how the Astro gets their 3 runs. Geico 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
So Verlander now with a 3-0 lead to work with, and the pitch taken for a strike. Caleb Joseph, strikeout victim, his first time up. It'll be Mullins and then VR. Orioles batting bottom half of the 6th inning. First game of our single admission doubleheader. Second game about a half hour after the conclusion of this, and then the game at 3 o'clock tomorrow to wrap up the season. 2:30 O's extra, 3 o'clock for the ball game. Both teams awaiting the outcome of pitcher use in this doubleheader before announcing the starters for tomorrow. Verlander, the 1-1 delivery. Caleb on a swing and a miss, late cut on the 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
I mean, it's ball's right on the corner. So it's very hard to get to. The velocity is good. It's still pretty hard to hit, maybe, or see, not as hard as it was a couple of innings ago, but still lights are on, but really not affecting anything. And there's another one on the corner. Yeah, the good pitchers, they got their, Keuchel's going to throw grounders in the second half, but otherwise you have a lane. Plate 17 inches. You can add another 2 inches on both sides of the plate, so you get 5 inches outside corner, 5 inches inside. Use your other pitches. Pitch down, pitch up.
Right off the screen in front of the Orioles dugout. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Buck never moved on that, which may be a telling sign on the season. Line drive came right at him, and he just stayed right where he was. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Outfield was shade to right on Caleb. 1-2 delivery over the top again back.
Right. His bench coach was a former catcher, was no help whatsoever. John Russell going, I got enough. Yeah, Buck was mostly a right fielder, so he was out of harm's way. John was right next to. Of course, John mentioned Russell on the left. He caught Nolan Ryan's one of his 7 no-hitters.
Yep. John was a very good catcher, very good game caller. 1-2 pitch on the way by Verlander, and it'll come inside. Yesterday, with a win, 101st by the Houston team, they tied their win total from last year. Verlander's trying to be the winning pitcher in a ball game that'll set a new club record. Club record 102. They could tie that. That was set in 1998, and then perhaps in the second game of the doubleheader set a newer mark. Fouled off. The Orioles not out of this thing, but got to find a way to get a little bit off Verlander, or perhaps the only way is to get him out of the ball game.
Well, like we said, he's only given up 1.3 runs a game in the month of September. Last year, how about getting traded? You're trying to get to the postseason for the Astros. He pitches 5 games and gives up 4 runs. 4.
2-2 delivery on the way and fouled off, and that one
got his hand.
Piece out of Maldonado.
Maldonado says it may hurt, but I'll still throw it back. Let's see where his hand is. You usually a lot of times get it behind. I mean, right off. Yeah, at the foot, I guess.
Yep.
Right thought it got his hand.
So a 2 ball, 2 strike count on Caleb. Ow. So long at bat. This will be pitch number 10. 2-2 delivery on the way. Caleb will take it up high. 98. So he works the count 3-2.
Yeah, he overthrew it because he kind of came out of his windup, but it was 98, hardest pitch of the afternoon. Pitch number 80. Again, very efficient. 56 strikes, 24 out of the zone.
And the 3-2 delivery on the way, and Caleb 6th foul ball in this at bat, and keeps fighting him off.
Well, that was 98 at the knees, and he was still able to flick it foul.
3-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, we talked about what happens third time through the order. His goes all the way to 240, which is an amazingly low number.
Boy, Caleb battling here, trying to find one to barrel up on. Count stays 3-2. 13th pitch of the at bat will be coming up. Not many walks surrendered. Best ratio, one of the best ratios in the game going with that 290 strikeouts and 36 walks. 3-2 delivery on the way and a little number foul again.
So 97, 98, perfect slider, and Caleb's still able to hope to get another pitch by fouling it off.
Orioles trying to get a leadoff man on against him. No success so far in the ball game. Caleb trying to change it. 3-2 delivery to him. Pops it back again out of play. So this was one of the longer at bats of the year for the Orioles.
Yeah, you would think maybe he's getting tired, but the stuff just as good here in the 6th, velocity wise. It's another good slider that he was able to foul off.
15th pitch.
And look where they all are. I mean, one up and in, everything away.
3-2 ground ball. Tomahawked it. That's going to be an infield hit. Caleb Joseph is on. Davis dove for it. Once he dove, he wasn't going to have any play even if he caught it.
Well, for Verlander, he goes, okay, I got a 3-0 lead. Bregman, one of the MVP candidates, he'll be at third. J.D. Davis, not known for his defense. Couldn't quite get the glove open. Would have been a tough play even if Correa caught it, because it was that deep in the hole.
So the Orioles, Caleb Joseph, the leadoff man on.
And they take the bunt away once again. Davis creeping in. I mean, he's gonna step on the grass.
Cedric Mullins has popped out and he is grounded out, and the breaking ball down low. This has got to be an inning where if you're going to get to Verlander, Caleb Joseph has given you a pretty good chance with a 15 pitch at bat to start it. And then you get the order turned over and Caleb gets on with the base hit. Now what Verlander needs is that ground ball, but he doesn't get a lot of those.
And then Mullins with his speed, hard to double, but he's going to.
And will come over the top on that one, foul.
I mean, it's hard only because they have the shift on now. That may change with 2 strikes. Let's see. I mean, Correa, the shortstop, he's over and you can see him. So there's a ground ball to the second baseman. If Gonzalez was to catch it, you'd have to wait for Correa to get over to second. And then he'd have to throw across his body because he'd be moving in the opposite direction at first.
Cedric has grounded into only 1 double play.
I would think the only ball that maybe would be a double play would be the ball right back to Verlander.
One delivery on the way to him. Breaking ball dropped a little bit low. So Cedric Mullins will get ahead on the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Verlander, about half the games he has started this year, he's over 100 pitches. He gets up 122 mark. Generally stays within that around the 110 mark. Last starts that he has made, he's been over 100 each of the last 4 games. Chance for what? 1, and that's it. And a double play. They're calling interference on the runner, Caleb Joseph. And here comes Buck. Second base umpire Chad Whitson making the call, saying Joseph interfered. Oh, can't do that. That's a slide into second base.
Well, again, I mean, he's just sliding.
Yeah, but
it's
you got to get
premature.
to the bag.
Yes, exactly.
You can't slide like that ahead of the bag.
You get red carded, what, in soccer?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good way to break up the double play unless the umpire calls the runner out at first because of the interference, and that's what he's going to do. Just very unusual play, trying to avoid the tag.
And there is no review requested yet. Buck
Oh
is,
yeah, see, I think what he said was he grabbed him with his left hand.
Yeah. Take anything you want. The whole thing was interference.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's when Caleb comes over in our replay, he says, yeah, but you grabbed him with your left hand.
Bill Miller, the crew chief now, is coming in.
So if he doesn't slide, but again, the grab, no. Well, we talked about it last night. That's what he used to do to his little brother Corbin. Except they'd be on roller hockey. See the grab right there? So that can be construed as. Correa goes.
Correa.
Yeah, there.
Correa wasn't sure quite what to do. He got the ground ball. He looked at second, but he was too far away to run over and tag the bag, so he didn't. Now they're going to bring the umpire who made the call in, and they're going to conference. Crew chief calling Buck back out, Bill Miller. Bill Miller wants to know from Buck, all right, if you want to challenge, what's the challenge? What are you saying was wrong?
So right here, he's going to go, you grabbed. You grabbed him, and he did.
Yep.
I don't know if he meant to do it, but it sure looked like he was able to impede his ability to throw the ball. Of course, he never tagged him, I don't think, did he? I mean, the ball was in his hand, and
just ran into
yeah, kind of, it was in the premature. So right there, does he tag him? Yes, he did. I guess you could say it's kind of together.
So the call will stand, and it'll be double play in the interference.
So there was a way to double up Mullins.
There was. You just saw it.
Many times.
It'll go 6-3.
Or 6U.
They're going to call it 6 unassisted.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah, 6 unassisted.
And then what's the umpire's number?
2 down, nobody on, and the pitch taken up and in by VR. He has struck out and flied out.
Well, Chad Woodson, the second base umpire, I mean, he made the right call. Just don't see too many guys sliding about 15 feet short of second base.
1-0 delivery on the way, and that'll be up. So big help. I mean, this is the inning. Remember now, Joseph had that 15 pitch at bat to get on, and we said what Verlander needs. He needs help here with a double play, and that's exactly what he got, as unusual as it may be. Pitch is going to be inside, not nearly as sharp this inning with control as he was in the first 5. And part of that may be the number of pitches he's had to throw this inning. 3-0.
Yeah, he'll be throwing 3 balls or whatever it takes. I mean, he'll be taking here right down the middle if he can.
3-0 pitch
there's one
there.
Yep. Ben here. You pitch into the scoreboard. If he hits one out, at least you made him put the ball in play. And I mean, when you're on the mound, you think, okay, you know, even the home run guys hit the, you know, they probably hit him what, 12 or 13 times up.
3-1 delivery, and that'll be a little foul tip. 3-2.
There's another one, and can't imagine he's not going to throw anything but that. Then Cody Carroll,
he's going to be coming in for Bundy, going into the 7th inning. Three balls, 2 strikes, and 2 down, and Will walk him. So there's the first walk. That'll keep the inning going, and we'll give Adam Jones a chance at the plate against Verlander. Warm-up action now as Smith will get up in the bullpen. They obviously don't want to see Verlander taxed in any way here in this start. And we'll see how far Hinch wants to go with him, and Joe Smith will get ready. Adam Jones has had a double and he has struck out. Orioles down 3-0. Only 3 hits in the ball game for the O's off Verlander. Verlander just coming in with strikes on the challenge to Jones, and that'll be foul back. Houston's won all 4 games these teams have played this year. Last time the Orioles didn't win a game against Houston was back in 2003 when they went 0-4 against the Astros. 0-1 delivery on the way and inside corner. And the count goes to 0-2. Adam, a .217 average off Verlander, but he does have 4 home runs. They are the base runner at first. Here's the 0-2 delivery. And taken down low, holds the runner.
Yeah, if it was a 1-run game, he'd already been gone. Even though Maldonado, we saw that last night, as you mentioned, close. I mean, almost thrown out 1 out of 2. Really strong arm.
Adam leading the Orioles in RBIs is 63. Picked it up last night. 35 doubles. Leads the ball club, picking up 1 in today's game. And a ground ball hard to third, knocked down Davis. He's got to go to first and will record the out. So Verlander works his way through it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. A base runner left on, 3-0 lead. Verlander.
No delay, gotta get going now, there's no more time to waste. More speed, less haste, 100 miles of money, never touch the brakes. See that counting, we come out and wait. Never late, cause it's time, gotta move quick, gotta move faster, wanna speed up, gotta move faster. Time is time, it has no master.
Well, Orioles being shut out as we go to the 7th inning. There's your line. 3-6-0, 2 homers off Bundy.
Yeah, he really pitched well. A couple of pitches. I mean, the walk and then a high fastball to George Springer that made it 2-0 hanging changeup that Correa waited and took the opposite field. So a lot of strikeouts. Only the 1 walk. It hurt him. And again, your Jiffy Lube pitching you a change. Regular oil changes are proven to keep your car on the road longer. Drive in today. So it's been a tough go for Cody Carroll. You know, Red Sox inning and 2/3, 5 runs, and 22 pitches per inning. That's an average. So fastball, breaking ball.
Top of the 7th inning. Cody Carroll starts it out with a strike as Davis stands in. J.D. Davis, a base hit, and he has struck out. Carroll, the 0-1 delivery to him, and that will miss outside. Carroll worked against New York on the 22nd. So he is well against Boston, rather, in the no decision game on the 26th.
Yeah, but that was the 19-3 game, and
5 runs, 5 hits, an inning and 2/3 in that ball game. The doubleheader where each team blasted the other offensively. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, now the sun in his face.
Just shining through the portal. Bottom third of the order. 2-1 delivery on the way.
Yeah, he usually sits somewhere between 95 and 97, and that's kind of what we're looking. Sun is setting, so it comes through right between the lower stands and the club level.
Carroll making his first appearance against Houston. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Davis will go to right field and hauled in by Stewart for the out. Oriole fans, the day after the O's score 5 runs or more, get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com with the promo code Orioles5. Enjoy the quality pizza you've come to expect from your locally owned and operated Papa John's.
That young man.
Picture's worth a million words.
Yeah, that young man has a determined look on his face. It's not over.
In the air to right again off Maldonado's bat. And there are 2 down. So Carroll gets a couple of outs, and that'll bring up Kemp. Kemp will walk, a run scored in that 6th inning. He's grounded out. Probably start seeing some substitutions. Hinch is over there looking at his scorecard, trying to get as many players in as he can while not overusing the regulars. That's going to be a base hit right up the middle. Kemp didn't wait on that one. So Kemp's on with a through the box single with 2 down here in the 7th inning. Well, an annual fan favorite has returned, the 2019 Orioles Pet Calendar, presented by Pet ER. It's on sale at Orioles.com/pet calendar. Proceeds benefit Barks, Baltimore Animal Rescue and Care Shelter. Each year this calendar is a sellout, so get yours at Orioles.com/pet calendar.
You saw Kemp getting off the snide with a base hit finally. Did walk before the home run by Springer, who's to the plate now. Yeah, you look at Cody Carroll, comes over in the Zach Britton trade out of the Yankee organization. I mean, he was lights out. 27 hits in 41 2/3 innings, only 18 walks, 55 strikeouts. But that's AAA. And up here, it's been a struggle.
Throw over will get the runner back. George Springer waiting at the plate. 22nd home run, 6th inning, solo shot, next pitch. Correa, his 15th home run. And that's the 3-0 lead. Joe Smith is ready to come out of the bullpen for Verlander. (1-0), runner not going, and the pitch will miss outside to him. Springer extending his hit streak to 7 with that home run that he picked up against the Orioles here in this ballpark here at Camden Yards. That's the 5th home run Springer has had. He's got a big average here, 386 at Camden Yards. 2-0 delivery, and that's going to miss outside. Carroll trying to fine tune and not getting it there, and he's behind 3-0 with Correa waiting on deck.
I would assume he's going to be swinging. Hadn't thrown a breaking ball yet, so he'll look fastball.
And he wanted to. So 2 on 2 down here in the 7th for Houston. And Correa will stand in. 1 for 3 with a home run. 2 home runs on the year against the Orioles and 5 runs batted in against the O's. Carlos Correa, infield move around on him. They move the R shortstop side of the bag. The outfield straight up outside. One 0 count. That'll be in there for a strike. Well, the Giants have come back to tie the Dodgers. They are 5-5 now in San Francisco, bottom of the 6th inning.
Boy, would it, I mean, the kind of year the Giants have had, and with all their injuries and not playing well.
This would be their season.
Oh, would it? I mean, when I was a kid, I used to go up. My aunt lived in San Mateo. She'd always take me to a Giant game at Candlestick. You know, it got to be beautiful till the wind came up about 2:30, 3 o'clock when it started windy. But they had quite a rivalry, and they still do. Nothing
the Dodgers,
better.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord. The Dodgers are going to clinch today. They've got to get a win. 2-1 delivery on the way, and a breaking ball tied him up, and a good one by Carroll. In there for a strike, 2-2.
And that will only be for the wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they need Colorado to lose, and they need to win their last 2, and otherwise, you know, same thing. Milwaukee may come back and tie the Cubs if they win today.
Check of the runner at second base as they move the R in. No throw made. Camp on at second base. Springer on at first. Carlos Correa trying to get another run in. Outside corner strike. He won't do it. So Carroll gets the strikeout. No runs a hit. 2 are left on base. Our Ram Do-Ups brought to you by Ram Trucks. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer, or log on to ramtrucks.com to get to work. Guts, glory, Ram. Stretch time.
Give the money, because anybody can just get money, but investing in a human being is a little bit different.
Presentation made as Adam Jones, his wife Audie, and the kids out there as well. Charitable Foundation of the Orioles, Adam Jones, have donated $150,000 jointly to a variety of local nonprofit organizations. Adam wants to be involved in the Boys and Girls Clubs, not just money, but personally.
We integrate ourselves and we get to know the person, know what we're giving. And when you invest in the person also, then they get to understand, like, okay, somebody really has my back opposed to someone's throwing me a Band-Aid. And that's why with the Boys and Girls Club, each one that we renovated, we made sure that the kids painted the buildings. And I talked to the fire chief coming down here today, and he was saying, I'm glad that you did that because these kids will appreciate it more. And we all know we don't mess up our room, we mess up our friends' rooms. So it was important for me to invest in the people also, not just give the money, because anybody can just get money. But investing in a human being is a little bit different.
And he's so sincere about that. And he's done it throughout his career here.
Yeah, I mean, Buck always talks about it. You know, you talk the talk or you walk the talk. He kind of does both, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and that's why I hope he's back. I just hope they'll come up with a way to come back. You know, could reach an agreement. He could still play. Again, you know, I could see trading him, getting something, a young player, but I don't think they ever overruled that he wouldn't be back.
Smith's first pitch is going to be grounded with Verlander out of there, and the play made by Beckham to record the out. Mancini retired. So Verlander done, and was Verlander?
Well, I mean, he struck out 10 of the first 16 guys. You know, he kind of, you know, he Ackerman hit the ball in the 6th inning. I mean, he was, you know, I pitched a lot of playoff games in World Series. That's the perfect. You know, he pitched well. He got his work in. You know, perfect time to pitch, twilight and whatever. Not that he needs a whole lot of help in that case. So he's got to be very pleased, as do his teammates and his organization and his manager and Brent Strom, his pitching coach.
Well, for both starters, it was the season. You saw their season. You saw Verlander getting the strikeouts, holding a team down. Smith's on to pitch for him. You saw Bundy on the other side pitch pretty well, and then there's a home run ball. I mean, for both those pitchers, that's what's happened all year.
Yeah, and for him, I mean, for Dillon, it was 2 pitches. Well, it was the walk, but then it was just a high fastball, got behind. Count so much when you're not Justin Verlander, and you can get a guy out on 3. I mean, we didn't see too many changes from Justin today, but the curveball was fabulous. Slider, there's no fastball count for him. I think even though Dillon has 4 pitches, he's primarily a fastball slider guy. So again, if he makes a mistake, and that's all it takes. I mean, the changeup, you know, it wasn't that horrible pitch. Correa made a nice swing on it and took it the other way.
There's the Verlander line today. Goes after win number 17.
Well, that's 13 times he struck out 10 or more this year. And it amazes me. I mean, I threw close to what, 4,000 innings. It's mind-boggling that he still can pitch at this level at 35 with 2,800 innings. It's magnificent.
It is. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's
214 innings pitched on the year now. That'll be it, obviously, for Verlander, as he'll go into the game 1 of the playoffs Friday. Sean Gilmartin up in the bullpen for the Orioles.
Yeah, there was some talk he might be the starter tomorrow, and that probably will be out of the question. Saw John Means come up, pitch in a ball game, so maybe he'll get some innings. There is A.J. Hinch. Back over 2015, and you know, one of their acquisitions after winning the World Series was Joe Smith. So he had some elbow problems early on, but he's still, you know, low ERA, a little bit over 3 runs a game, 5-1. A ground ball pitcher, you know, sinker. You just saw the swerve, the slider, and you kind of know what you're going to get with Joe Smith.
1-2 delivery will be foul back. The decision Hinch apparently will be making, he hasn't said it officially, but it looks like they'll carry 11 pitches and 14 position players. Miles Straws, a pinch running specialist. Will he stay, or will it be Max Stassi as a 3rd catcher? They haven't announced that yet. Then you got 2 spots in the bullpen that are open. Brad Peacock, one of those on the line. Chris Davinsky, Will Harris, 2 others who are trying to get into those final 2 spots in the bullpen. Now they hope Lance McCullers is going to be ready to go. We'll see him probably tomorrow. McCullers will pitch, see how he looks. He's not going to be able to start. He hasn't been able to get the arm lengthened because of injuries. He'll have to work out of the bullpen if he's going to go. And then there's Josh James, a rookie speedballer who's done really well for them. So there are a couple of questions on the bullpen and a couple position players up for a spot.
And the other thing is you can keep adding and subtracting players as you go through the you know, guy could be on a roster for the division, and then you can add them or subtract them when you get into the championship series. You can't
2 ball, 2 strike count here.
You can't do it during the series.
Beckham gets one down the line. That's going to fall in for a base hit. He's on his way to second base. Kemp will go over to get it. Throw in not in time. A stand-up double.
Well, you made a good point because you know, you get Verlander out of there. I mean, he probably wouldn't have left this game if it weren't getting ready and make sure he's going to be ready for the his first start against the Indians. So it's not that Joe Smith is not a good pitcher, but he's not Justin Verlander. So, and you're only 3 runs down. Now the Orioles are only scoring a little bit over 3 runs in the month of September with Trumbo out and a lot of your better players being traded.
This is only the second chance the Orioles have had with a runner in scoring position today. Nunez will get an opportunity. He's 1 for 2. He has singled and he has popped out. And the slider will miss outside. 1 away. Orioles trying to get on the board here in the 7th inning against Smith. He had 2/3 of an inning pitched on Monday against Toronto. That was his last outing. Only 4 earned runs in the last 25 innings. Slider way outside on this one.
Yeah, you look. I mean, Harris has been pitching well. You know, Peacock not too bad. I mean, last year he went 13-2 and boy, had a great year. We saw McHugh last night. He's been really pitching well. McCullers said his elbow is healed, so he may be a guy. Maybe he doesn't pitch in his division, but if you get through the division, he goes down and gets some simulated games, and he's ready for the championship series if they get there.
That's way outside. So the Orioles, they get a shot here in this 7th inning. As we said, their best chance, get Verlander out of there, even though they didn't do it with their bats. Just the fact he's come out of the ball games opened the door a bit. And taken, and that's a walk on 4 straight. So the Orioles will bring the potential tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning. That will be Stewart. And we'll get on the phone here to get the bullpen going again.
Yeah, Brett Strom. You know, Smith's not a hard thrower. He's going to, you know, his average fastball is 88 to 89, and he can sink it a little bit. Not happy with the walk of the 3-0 lead. As a veteran guy, it's the last thing you want to do. Didn't mean to, but did it.
Saw Maldonado pull his info card out of his back pocket there with Stewart coming up. First time they have seen Stewart. So,
well, it's probably a good matchup because he looks, the book on him, and maybe the really hard stuff has trouble with. And again, if you go back and look at the, you know, the home run off Estrada changeup, curveball off Robertson, a lot of the hits have come on breaking balls.
DJ Stewart, runners on at first and second base and 1 out. He is struck out. He is popped out, and he drills it way back right field. Check the card again. Goodbye, home run, tie game.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Can't throw it by him. I mean, if Joe Smith pitches up in the strike zone, he's perfect hitting speed, and that ball blasted.
And our 4th drive of the game goes to DJ Stewart.
Yeah, pitching and hitting is about matchups. I mean, right down the middle. And again, very hittable. And when it comes down, the game is tied.
3rd home run, 10 RBIs on the year for Stewart. So the Orioles use the long ball. That'll end both Bundy and Verlander. And this game now belongs to the bullpen. First 3 RBI game for Stewart in his career. And our 4th drive of the game. Hurry into your local Ford dealers for great savings on cars, trucks, and SUVs. Rickard, a couple of strikeouts in the game, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. So the Orioles respond big time on that blast. 0-2 count. Pops that one up first base side, foul territory, and that'll be hauled in for the out. White over there to get it. Now the Orioles proud to once again host the Longevity Foundation's Breathe Deep Baltimore 5K walk to raise funds and awareness for lung cancer in memory of the Orioles late public relations director Monica Pence Barlow. The event takes place at Oriole Park Saturday, October 6th. Proceeds benefiting the nonprofit efforts to provide research grants as well as community support for those with lung cancer. For information, Orioles.com/longevity. Pitch will be taken inside for a ball. 2 down. Caleb Joseph, big 15 pitch at bat last time up and a base hit to go with it. 1 for 2.
Yeah, finally got a slider that he bounced in the hole off of really the third baseman's glove. Looked like Correa might have been able to catch it, but Davis couldn't at third.
Smith's 7th game against the Orioles. 1-0 delivery on the way. Orioles had not been able to get anything off him in 5 2/3 innings previously.
Well, what's going to haunt him, even though they are going to the playoffs, is the walk. Guy, you always throw home runs. It's the walks when you have a 3-0 lead. Didn't want to do it, did, and then made a mistake to DJ Stewart. The game's tied.
Orioles now have been out hit by just 1. As there's a 3-3 ball game, and the Orioles out hit by 2. They had only 3 hits coming into the inning and have had 2 here in the 7th. And that one will be down the right field line, headed to the corner. Josh Reddick over, and that's in fair territory, says the umpire, and Joseph is retired, but the Orioles are right back in it. They get 3 runs on a couple of hits. No errors, nobody left on base. The long ball by Stewart, his 3rd, has tied this game up at 3.
Now take a look right here, and again, I mean, nice play by Trey Mancini. You could see the sun early on. But Tony Kemp hits it. Looks like going to be a double. Nope. Able to. And then right here, how about that? Tyler White, little hit and run. Trey busy early on.
Stewart ties it up by delivering the long ball to right, bringing the crowd to their feet, and we go to the 8th inning.
Yeah, Sean Gilmartin, who's pitched well for the Orioles, and pitched up in Boston, pitched in relief in a loss, but pitched 4 innings, only 1 hit, a walk and a couple of strikeouts. I mean, the last 11 2/3 innings, 1 run. So he's done a nice job.
Gilmartin in a tie ball game. Breaking ball is going to miss. Reddick's already 3 for 3 in this ball game. He's had 3 singles. Gonzalez and then White will be due up. Top half of the 8th inning, game 1 of the doubleheader. Second game to start about a half hour after this first one ends. We'll get to see Ramirez for the Orioles, Jeffrey Ramirez, and Dallas Keuchel going for the Astros. Gilmartin's first appearance against Houston, and a little roller to second base. The R is right there over to Mancini.
Well, that's how you get Josh Reddick out. The 2-seam fastball to a left-hander. You know, they're looking away, and Reddick can do it as well as anybody. He just rolls over. You just can't quite get to it. Of course, Sean, he's got some experience, former #1 draft choice. So not a hard thrower, but he can get you out. He's got 3 pitches: fastball, slider, and change.
That'll bring Marwin Gonzalez up. 270 off the lefties, 238 off the righties. Switch hitter. Martin's pitch to him outside for a ball. He's gone 0 for 3. A couple of fly balls and a strikeout. Harris in the bullpen. It is a bullpen game now. Gonzalez 1 hit, 7 at bats. First 2 games of this series. 1-0 delivery on the way to him, and a breaking ball will be in there for a strike.
Bottom of the zone, change up away. He'll throw that pitch. Did he count?
The Astros coming away with a 2-1 win in the ball game last night. Decided late as this one's going to be. They got a run in the 8th inning last night, which would prove to be the winner on the couple of walks in the inning that really mattered, and then Gonzalez got the RBI base hit to bring one of those walks home. Gil Martin, 2 ball 1 strike count. And the left-hander will have to wait on the 2-1. And a roller down to third. This is going to be a tough play. Nunez long throw off the mark. Tag put on. No. Did not get him. And it will be an infield hit for Gonzalez, I believe.
Yeah, you would think they'd score it that way. Tough play because you got to come a long way, but he makes a nice play. Backhand, short hop, and then the throw. Tried to get rid of it quickly. And again, this is a good angle because Trey Mancini has to try to catch it. It's what, about 5 feet off the bag.
Couldn't get back to put the tag on him as he went by. So Gonzalez on with a single with 1 away. And that will bring Tyler White to the plate. Hit number 8 for the Astros in the ball game. White 293 off left-handers. He goes down the line and foul. Rashawn Gilmartin now 28 years old. He came into the year with his major league service with the Mets. He had pitched in only 66 major league games, 2 of those as a starter, all of those with the Mets.
Number 1 draft choice by the Braves. Got over $1 million a sign.
0-1 lash to center. Mullins will play it on a hop. Runners on at first and second now with 1 out. And Gaddis will be coming to the plate or due up. It's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 available now. Learn more at RBI.com. Rated E for everyone. So Evan Stasty's going to hit. This is one of the players we were talking about earlier in the decision-making process of who's going to go to the postseason. Is Stassi going to be one of them?
Well, McCann had the knee problems. Will be interesting to see if Brian plays at DH last night. We'll see if he'll catch the second game. You have to see actually if they're going to use him in that capacity. Yeah, Stassi, Max did a nice job early on. Played a lot the first 3 months of the year.
He's caught more games than anyone else on the ball club. He's had 62 starts as a catcher.
And the minute they go get Maldonado, he's been their primary catcher and decide who's going to be the backup catcher. Or, of course, if McCann makes the roster, he can always be your third catcher.
Stassi's got power. 1 down. Breaking ball will be in there for a strike. Stassi 233 off the lefties and 227 off the right-handers. Runners on at first and second, only 1 away. Gaddis had struck out twice in this DH role. That one off the fists and no play. So another late inning ball game. 2 starters. Verlander no runs, 3 hits over 6, 10 strikeouts, non-decisioned. Same ND for Bundy, 3 runs, 6 hits over 6. He had 7 strikeouts and a walk. Back-to-back home runs off Bundy in the 6th by Springer and Correa, accounting for their 3. 0-2 delivery, and that's there for a strike. That one froze him up.
Yeah, right on the corner. So he adds a little bit, gets ahead, makes the perfect pitch. We saw him do that in Boston. I mean, if the curveball, the changeup's in the middle of the plate, which is You know what Tyler White hit? That's when you get in trouble, but he pitches to the edges. Nicely presented by Caleb Joseph.
That'll bring Davis to the plate. J.D. Davis starting at third base in the ball game, a base hit, and he is struck out and flied out, but now there are 2 down. Davis will go after the off-speed delivery and foul it back.
About 100 points higher when you look at J.D. Davis against the left-handers. Still not a great batting average, but 243 versus 133.
Davis with an 0-1 count. Runners get their leads, first and second, Gonzalez and White. And that in the air to right, not deep. Second base, VR, going, called off, and the play made by Stewart. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base. Tie game to the bottom of the 8th. Amazingly low prices. Who but WB Mason, the official office product supplier of the Baltimore Orioles. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on their most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Orioles have not beaten Houston this year. They got a shot at it here. Bottom half of the 8th inning, tied at 3.
Yeah, well, Harris will come on. I mean, longtime veteran. Colorado or Arizona got him on waivers from Colorado, and then Houston claimed him on waivers. Cutter, curveball, veteran, throws a lot of strikes, hasn't given up a run in 12 innings over 12 appearances over 12 and a third innings. And again, a veteran of the postseason last year. So that's what the Orioles can do here in the 8th. Speed the start.
Harris, one of those in contention for what appear to be the open 2 spots in the bullpen. Smith worked an inning, 3 runs, 2 hits, a walk. And the pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Cedric Mullins leading it off. He hit into that strange double play. Ground ball, interference called on Caleb Joseph, the runner. Popped out, grounded out. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be taken down low. So Harris at work. Try and hold the Orioles where they are here in the bottom of the 8th. The O's trying to get at least 1 up on the board and get the lead. They have not had it in this ball game. In at third, Davis. 1-1 delivery on the way. It'll be to right. Reddick coming. 1 down. And game 2 of our doubleheader will be starting about a half hour after this one. Dallas Keuchel on the mound against Jeffrey Ramirez. Continuing coverage on Masson with O's Extra presented by PNC coming up directly after this game number 1. Michael Givens getting ready for the Orioles. The Orioles closer. One down. Harris against the Orioles this year, 1 game, 1 save, 1 inning, no runs. Here's Villar, a walk, a strikeout, and a fly ball out. Villar will take the pitch, and it's 1-0. Orioles love to get one here in the 8th inning, set it up with a lead. Bring Michael Givens on in the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah,
1-1.
Yeah, back-to-back hooks. The guy, I mean, other we saw Osuna, he comes over from the Jays, but the guy they picked up, Ryan Presley, he hadn't been scored on in 20 games, 17 innings. Always a hard thrower, but a lot of curveballs, throwing him over. And in 76 games for him.
Pitch will be a heater inside at 93.
Yeah, that's that cutter, Gary. That's what Mullins kind of lofted to right field. Just just a little movement. And of course, 93, good velocity.
'34-year-old veteran Will Harris. A 2-ball, 1-strike count. Jonathan Villar will go after it down to first base. White. Little high toss right there, but it's in time to get Villar. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or transmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles and all spacemen located within our purview. Hello, Houston. Hello, Houston.
Oh,
gotta be a Houston fan dressed like that, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Gotta be.
Well,
got his NASA.
You're hoping.
Yeah, NASA is here too. So could be a Baltimore fan. And the pitch taken down low for a ball. Well, why not hit a home run, game winner? Wrap it up, Adam. Adam Jones, a double, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Couple of hits, 7 at bats in the series. Adam DHing for the Orioles here in game 1 of our doubleheader. Harris, a 1-0. And Adam will take the pitch, and it'll be inside for a ball. Adams 0 for 4 off Will Harris in his career.
Yeah, 3 home runs in 60 games, so
he's due. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that's a strike.
Yeah, that's the cutter. Anytime, any count. And then he's got the hook, and you just don't see a lot of curveballs. You know, McCullers last year, and what, the championship series, 24 in a row. It's one thing to have a good curveball, but I always found it kind of hard to throw over all the time. They don't seem to have a problem here in Houston.
That'll go to short. Correa.
Ooh.
Had to use a cannon there, a couple of crow hop steps he really didn't want to make. 1-2-3 inning, 9th inning, tie game.
Well, there you go. And then again, you turn it over. Nothing ball game. Walk to Kemp. And then Springer. And then Correa, excuse me, to right field on a changeup. So 2 swings. That's the offense for the Astros this afternoon.
Orioles got theirs on 1 swing on the Stewart home run in the 7th inning. Double by Beckham, walk to Nunez, and then the homer. Stewart's 3rd of the year. Now Houston bats here in the 9th inning. Gil Martin. 8, 9, and 1 are due up. Martin Maldonado. He is 0 for 3 in the ball game, 1 for 7 in the first 2. Taking a look at the first 2 pitches, hoping he might get ahead on the count here and maybe even draw a walk. That has not happened yet. 1-1. And that pitch will miss down low. So we are in the 9th. The Orioles trying to win their first against this ball club, against the Astros this year. Second game coming up. Rondon in the bullpen. One of their setup men. 2-1 delivery on the way. Ground ball towards 3rd. Nice play, Nunez. Got him. The Maldonado retired. Kemp and then Springer due up. Kemp in the 9 spot, base hit, has drawn a walk and scored ahead of the home run picked up by Springer. And he's grounded out. Hard ground ball, robbed of a hit by Mancini in the 3rd inning. Big play. Could have been a leadoff double that inning, but Trey got it right on the line. Tony Kemp showing bunt, pulls the bat back. It's a strike.
Yeah, you would think that he's going to try to do something to get on, and you know, Gil Martin controls the running game pretty well, being a left-hander. You see where Nunez is playing the 3rd, way in.
Does not show bunt this time. Pitches away, 1-1. Gil Martin on in the last for the Orioles. Carroll worked an inning, a hit, a strikeout, and a walk. 1-1 delivery on the way, and a breaking ball is going to miss up high. For Kemp this year against the lefties, 275. All 6 of his home runs have come against right-handers. Ahead on the count here, 2-1. Nunez in at 3rd still, 2-2.
Yeah, it doesn't overswing a whole lot because of the stature and whatever. So you can see that left shoulder or that front shoulder, the right shoulder. It just kind of comes in, trying to make contact, put it in play, put the pressure on the defense. Well, as we mentioned, gets on 40% of the time when he's hitting 9th. Great on base percentage.
2-2 delivery, and up and in gets him, and Gil Martin's got a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, I think he's waiting for this slider to break, and it breaks late. Kind of up in the zone. You can see the glove, and I mean, just kind of pretty much ends up right down the middle of the plate, but he gets fooled. So good spin, even though it appeared to be a hanger. Must have had enough spin to miss the bat.
So Gil Martin gets the first 2 here in the 9th inning. Now Springer, the home run, is 22nd, a walk. He's grounded out and flied out. 30 points higher against the left-handers for Springer this year, but only half the home runs. He's had 15 home runs off the righties and 7 off the lefties. Getting the home run off Dylan Bundy in the 6th inning today. 0-1 count with 2 down. And that'll bounce.
Yeah, the big difference in it is that he's gotten up against the righties 230 sometimes more. So still dangerous because of his approach at the plate. Saw that off the home run off of Dylan Bundy.
One delivery on the way, and that'll be outside. So Gil Martin with a 2-ball 1-strike count.
Well, let's see if
trying to keep it tied to the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, we'll see if he looks for something soft, off speed here. Yeah, certainly have that luxury. Head the count, 2-1 count if you're George Springer.
And the 2-1 delivery, he kept it down and away, and down to his knees he goes.
And I think he was looking for it, but it was the perfect changeup. If you don't throw it low and away with great life, late movement, I mean, he just sold it. Look at where, I mean, great. I mean, just actually off the corner just a little bit, so he was looking to drive it.
Gil Martin at 2-2. And he'll take the count full. Longest out in Gil Martin this year. He had 4. That was at Boston. Good innings. Scoreless. So he can give you some length out of the bullpen or be used as a starter.
Yeah, well, he did an interview yesterday. He said, I would just like to get an opportunity to do either.
3-2, 2 down. Springer with a flip of the bat after he fouls that one off. He's trying to drive one. 5 home runs here in this ballpark in his career. Second time on the 3-ball 2-strike count. Roger McDowell going through the signs with Caleb Joseph. 3-2 delivery on the way again, and again just fought it off.
I'm not sure if it's a little cutter, yeah, just a little movement, and Caleb always gets hit. That's what he does. Usually the mask, foot, arm.
Three-2 delivery on the way, and he walked in. Tried the off-speed pitch again, but lost control of it. Only been 3 walks issued by the 3 Oriole pitchers in the game. So 9th inning with 2 down, 1 on, and Correa coming up. His home run. 6th inning, number 15, 1 for 4. Ryan Meisinger in the pen. Correa's got a better average off the lefties, 278. 223 off righties. Again, though, only 1 home run off a left-hander and 14 off a righty. And Gil Martin away for a ball.
Yeah, for Sean McGill Martin, it's all about where the ball ends up. Location's so important. He's not going to overpower anybody. We've seen, 88.
Astros have left 7 on base in the ball game. Orioles have left only 3. Breaking ball, low.
Yeah.
Carlos Correa, their shortstop, with a 2-0 count. Looking to blast away here, try and get Springer in from first. He's being held by Mancini. 2-0 delivery. He wanted to blast, but the pitch was not a pitch blastable.
No, it was a changeup going away, and well intentioned. First round, first pick, 2012. Took less money so they could sign McCullers. You don't see too many players doing that.
No.
Yeah, he could perceive the future.
2-1 delivery on the way. So a 3-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, I mean, he's throwing a lot of pitches to get to Reddick, who's waiting on deck. We got out. Got him to roll over on a 2-seamer. It's almost like the Springer, that big swing kind of got him a little jumpy. Once again, can't give in to Carlos here.
3-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to go to the gap, right center field. Can you cut it off is the question. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Here comes Springer. They're going to wave him on home. There'll be a relay throw to the plate. No. An RBI double. Carlos Correa, and the Astros are on top again, 4-3.
Well, you got to like that approach. Talked about not giving in. Well, he throws him a changeup, but the count and the fact that the execution of the pitch, check her out. This is similar to the home run. I mean, it's not a horrible pitch. It's what are you looking for? Home run was on a changeup off of Bundy, and the gapper. 2 outs. You're going on contact. And Gary Pettis is going to send them all the way in. The Astros take a 4-3 lead.
64th and 5th RBIs in this ball game for Correa. And a check swing foul ball by Josh Reddick, who is 3 for 4 with singles. So Correa gives him a lead with 2 down. Big 2-out RBI.
Well, you saw Springer looking at Correa. I mean, because if you go back and look at some of the highlights of the the division, they beat the Red Sox 3-1. They come from behind to beat the Yankees. Winning 4-3, home field advantage, playing used. Had to go back to win the last 2. The Dodger World Series in 7 games, all kinds of games. Hitting contests, what, 12-11 or 13-12, whatever it was. But the jubilation, first time you're ever on a World Championship team for a lot of these players.
In the air and foul again.
Nothing like it to win the big prize, and that's what they were able to do last year.
Trying to win a ball game in the 9th inning for Houston has not necessarily been easy. When they have had a lead, they're 80-8. When they've tied, they start going on the underside of that. After 8 innings, they are 5-8.
Well, that's why they went out and got Osuna. 80-8 is not a good record when you go into the 9th with a lead.
And they've come back in the 9th inning, and only 5 after the 9th inning, and only 5 games to win when they've trailed. Pitch will be taken away. So 1 ball, 2 strike count. Reddick with a runner at second base. Obviously a very big run here going into the bottom of the 9th inning. The Orioles, Mancini, Beckham, and Nunez will be due up. Much rather be trying to get it on a 1-run differential than a 2. 1-2 delivery on the way by Gil Martin will be chopped at to first. Mancini will play a 2. Gil Martin on the coverage gets there in time for the out. But a run in on 1 hit, a big walk. Springer got the walk. Springer scored the run. Bottom of the 9th. With nothing to hide, that's transparency. And by American Standard, find your local independent American Standard heating and air dealer at MidAtlanticComfort.com. Well, is it going to happen to the Orioles again? 8th inning ball game last night. Houston scored, won by 1. 9th inning tonight, they get a lead of 1.
Yeah, they went out and got Hector Rondon. We already saw Joe Smith. They went and got Garrett Cole. We saw him last night. Hard thrower. Fastball anywhere 95, 97. Hard slider. Got a changeup. Throws every once in a while. And then when you talk about the fact they come in with 54 wins on the road, scoreless in 29 of the 31 road games, and again 2 earned runs in 31 appearances on the road this year.
He's appeared in 1 game against the Orioles in Houston. No decision in that one. He pitched a scoreless inning. So the Orioles down by 1, bottom of the 9th inning. Trey Mancini 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts and a ground ball out. He's gone 0 for 7. first 2 games of the series so far.
So back to 2 sliders in a row. You miss, you get to sit on the fastball. We'll see if he's able to throw another breaking ball, because you still got to throw with a 1-run lead. The toughest type of save, you got to throw a strike here.
And a base hit to right, so the Orioles get what they need. Trey Mancini's on with a leadoff single in the 9th, and the potential winning run will come to the plate.
Yeah, you can always guess, and right here it's kind of an educated guess because of the count and the scoreboard. So that's 98. Doesn't do much, just a little bit of an inside out swing. They're going to pinch run now because you got a little bit better speed with Andreoli, who can really run. And also at the minor league level stole a lot of bases. I don't think that's going to be an option here.
Here's Tim Beckham. A double and a run scored. The Oriole runs on the Stewart 3-run homer in the 7th inning. Tim Beckham, a couple of strikeouts along with that 2-bagger. Andreoli at first, and the pitch will miss down low for a ball.
Yeah, Rondon looking in going, might have been a strike there. Didn't get the call.
Beckham has faced him only once, and 0 for 1 against him.
No time run at first, winning run at the plate. Home field advantage.
And the pitch taken away for a ball. Rondon is 14 out of 21 in the save department. Not a particularly good number.
Oh, it's a horrible number. That's why they went out and got Osuna. Giles last year. Pitching well for Toronto, but did not pitch well in the postseason. So
Hinch with his own signs to the catcher, Maldonado. 2-0 delivery. That's going to be a base hit into left field. Kemp coming on to get it, and the Orioles' first 2 are on here in the 9th inning.
Well, Gary, you're always talking about, hey, there are no such things as fastball counts, but in these 2 at bats, they're looking fastball and getting him. And again, it's not a horrible pitch, but you can look for it because of the count. And then he finds a hole.
So the Orioles making a real game of it. They're in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
And one thing about Tim Beckham, he doesn't miss a lot of high fastballs when he's looking for them.
Orioles are 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position. They've left only 3 on base, and only 1 of those in scoring position in the ball game. So here is Nunez. He drew a walk, scored in the 7th on the Stewart home run. He is singled and popped out. Runners on at first and second base. 9th inning, nobody out. Rondon gets it in. 3rd. There's 1. Then he goes to first. Oh, what a play at first by White. He had to take that right into the runner on the foul side of the bag to turn a double play.
Yeah, I think he's just hoping. I mean, right here, you can see right here, Davis is saying, well, do I want to touch the base? And when he does, the throw sails. So again, he's coming over, hoping the ball doesn't hit. Nunez, you can see him ducking a little bit. If he doesn't duck, the ball probably hits him. And I'm not saying it's not going to hurt him. I mean, he's probably worried about getting hit in the head.
Orioles a video looking, holding the game up, and there'll be no challenge. As you saw, White did keep his foot on the bag. Davis took a look at second base, which also delayed that throw just a fraction of a second.
Yeah, I was thinking he was going to try for a triple play, to be quite honest.
I did too.
Yeah, that's my first thought.
He looked and then decided, no, I got to go to first. Big play.
It's almost like he had a little trouble finding out where third base was. It did the Texas two-step.
So now with 2 down, still the potential tying run on at second base. And DJ Stewart gets another chance inside for a ball. Rondon backing him off the home run that tied the ball game. 7th inning. Now he's got an opportunity to tie the ball game up again.
Well, got a hit last night, a little jam shot into center field, then the 3-run home run today.
1-0 delivery, lifted foul.
I think that was a changeup. Yeah, you
does not get denied.
We'll take a look right here. Will Smith up in the middle of the plate, not where he wanted to go. Stewart makes him pay, ties the game up.
Harris on the winning side as a pitcher right now. Gilbarton the loser, but this thing not over. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way, and jammed him upstairs at 97.
Well, that's the perfect pitch, perfect location. If you're ever going to find out whether the guy has a quick bat, you have to hit that ball so far out in front. It's almost an impossible pitch to hit when you locate it at 97. You can add 5 miles per hour to that pitch, so that's about 102 mile per hour fastball, perfectly thrown up and in.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Runner at second base is Tim Beckham. Potential tying run with 2 outs. And a timeout asked for at the plate. One and 2. Rondon's delivery, and that's the ball game. So he gets the strikeout. The Orioles get no runs, 2 hits, no errors. They will leave 1 on. Harris will get the win in relief. He is 5-3. Gil Martin will take the loss. He is 1-1. And the save will go to Rondon. And another 1-run ball game. First game of our doubleheader, and the Astros win it 4-3. Dallas Keuchel and Jeffrey Ramirez on the mound in game 2. Be about a half an hour from right now. Our continuing coverage on Masson O's Extra, presented by PNC, is coming up right now. This has been a Masson presentation. Tom and Rick, they'll keep you company till we get ready for game 2. For Jim Palmer, I'm Gary Thornton. Don't go away. We'll see you for the second game of our Saturday doubleheader. Adieu.